It,
Hello, Level Up Larry. How are you doing this fine
secrets.
evening?
Oh, I'm about to be a lot better. It's been a long day. I think you could both say it's been a long
Trying to do
day.
the hard hands. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I
I've
can't do the
had a
hard.
long day.
Yeah, it's.
We're just not gonna try and do that. Okay, we're just not gonna.
But no, it's my day. The evening is about to get better. The weekend's about no, not even the weekend. The next month or two or three or six are about to be a lot better because we're here to talk about some exciting stuff. We got Kunark launch coming up. It's early access tomorrow. But before I get into that, let me make sure those of you, I know you see secrets, but you probably don't see Ailia. Well, you see the name, but Ailia is out there as well. So let me just do a brief introduction. Of course, many of you know both of them if you're on the Project Quarm Discord, or if you have any involvement with Quarm whatsoever. Secrets, the main developer, the mastermind behind just the experience that we've gotten to enjoy for the last, what is it? I think I did the math. It's 243 days.
Something about that. Yeah, it's nearly been about 9 months. As
9
of
months.
tomorrow, we will have been out for 8 months. Probably longer than every other project I've actually written. No, just kidding. I think Classless was slightly.
And I
But
feel like we're
no,
just
but,
getting
but this is
started.
one of the. This is. There's still another 2 years out from now, like before we even get to Luclin, and then we have a 9 months out from there, and then we'll be in Plains Power. That's a long time to think about,
That's a commitment.
especially if yeah, yeah. This is a server that's designed around having this level of commitment, right? You want
And
people to be able to get attached to their characters and
right.
grow with them.
Oh yeah, I'd be yeah. I mean, well, as someone who plays, hardcore, like there's very little attachment to my characters, but for the general population, absolutely, that attachment can be real. And then also again, Ailia out there, the lead. What I made a button for this, and now I can't find it. Lead customer. What's the goodness gracious, Larry? Lead customer. Where's this? Where's the thing at?
Lead customer support representative.
There we
They are
go.
the
Lead
person
customer
who's
support.
in.
Yeah. Yes. And Banhammer
They
experts.
deal
That's
with the
what's supposed
customers, so I don't have to. I have people skills. They have
to.
better people.
That's
So
right. Ailia definitely has people skills, and the word on the street is if you are in game and you see Ailia, well, there's probably about to be a problem. So,
yeah,
but
that's
Ailia,
exactly verbatim the word I said.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
see Ailia, you screwed up.
that's right. So Ailia, you are out there. I trust that you are.
Probably.
Okay. Fantastic. Probably. Excellent. So hopefully the sounds are the sound volumes are good. Nobody said anything, I don't believe. I'll try to glance at chat and ask questions and do, all the stuff in the behind the scenes. So if I miss anything, I apologize, but hopefully we're good in that front. Okay. So you probably heard me kick it off earlier. A lot of questions to get through. A lot of great questions. And I think if you don't have a really good, clear idea of what Kunark is going to look like on Quorum by the end of this, well, shoot. Make sure you ask your question and send it our way. But before we get started, though, anything that you'd like to mention off the top? Like, I mean, again, it's been
Absolutely.
yeah. Go for it.
As
Go
I
for it.
as I mentioned before, we had actually Larry. This is the first time you're going to hear some of this. Some of it was in the answer sheet that I gave you.
Mm-hmm.
Some of this is going to be prepared, and then of course we're going to have that ad hoc session at the end.
Yep.
Effectively, we're having a couple different announcements. Kunark, of course, adds a 60 cap. It adds a new race, the Iksar, and it adds a whole new continent of itself, Kunark. This is a massive expansion. This is also one of the only expansion to add a race, a 1 to 60 or whatever the level cap starting area is, and also this is one of the only expansions to have done that. If you think about it, there was only Kunark, there was only, I believe, to some extent Luclin, and then there's the Serpent Spine many years later that added a race, a continent with all the starting area, and also just an entire encompassing, raids, you know, uh, quests, major things to accomplish.
Yep.
In general, this is one of the only expansions, and it's beloved for this reason.
Yep.
So, I'd like to get into kind of how we want to improve something that is honestly already perfect. I love the XR.
Yeah, and you bring
I
up great
mean,
points. because yeah, I mean it's an amazing expansion, and you know I could go on and on and on about how it's my favorite expansion of any game ever made in the existence of gaming, at least from my perspective. And so yeah, like how do you make something that's already great better? But you know you're very creative, and you've already found ways, in my perspective, and I think people who are playing on Quorum can agree, is that you found ways to enhance the experience, and so I think a lot of these questions are going to help, you know, mold that into a really good vision and plan for what that's going to look like. So, okay, so these are in no particular order, or at least not. Yeah.
Before we get into that, I do have an announcement first.
Oh yeah.
Actually,
Please do.
there's two announcements. One of them is for the Epic Quests. We're going to be spending a month on this, and we're going to be making a major change to Epics and how they're actually completed. For since the beginning of time, and since Brad McQuaid had build troughs that everyone go through and make this game, EverQuest has been a game you play with other people.
Yeah.
The existence of multi-quests, in my opinion, and honestly, this conflicts with the design entirely, having multi-quests available. I also feel that parts of the Epic being tradable devalue the personal experience. Now, when Kunark comes out officially, we're going to give people a grace period, as we want to make every single item involved in an Epic, in some way, shape, or form, having to be personally obtained by the character doing the Epic. Now, there's a problem with doing this. We didn't tell anyone about this. This is kind of like one of those, month prior decisions that we, made in the 11th hour, like we did with the Mana Stone stuff.
Yeah.
The reason for this is I believe in the personal journey. I believe in personal commitment to a character. I believe that if you were to, just sell a rogue, for example, all the components to their Epic, that devalues that entire process. It becomes just another cog in the machine of different quests to do. In addition, we'll be requiring level 46 to complete the epics. This whole system is not scoped out yet. This is something that we have, haven't committed to get. We haven't, everything about Project Quarm at this point is open source. But I feel like this is in line with our design and our desire to, improve the gameplay experience on a personal, individual level. Now, the last couple of weeks, you might have noticed that we had a lot of patch notes that were aimed at, changing different parts of the Epic Quest to be easier.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, well, this will be easier to just obtain everything. My opinion on this is you still have to go through the personal journey to get that reward. If you could just have everything be easy mode, and there needs to be a counterance to that. And for this, making things no drop, making it non-multi-questable, and making sure that you'll be able to, turn in items as yourself, not having someone else assist you in that process for, handing you the item you need to turn in, or handing an NPC and then you hand something into the NPC. That just seems very impersonal. It is a hotbed for RMT, and you might be thinking, well, aren't they going to just sell the items, right? Well, loot rights have been a thing in other games. In EverQuest 2, loot rights has been a thing. In TLP, if you need to, loot a no drop item, and Luclin or Planes of Power, you're going to have to come into that zone and get the loot rights to actually loot something from a raid. That, I feel, combined with instances. 8 months ago, we didn't even have instances. We were going to launch this something like Project 1999 style,
right,
where we were going to have big line races. Some days it would be line race. The instancing system has allowed us to kind of add this individual personalized approach to epics. With that alone, we were kind of able to make this decision. Now, the reason for this, too, is that we want to be able to make sure we don't screw over our existing players. We've had issues in the past where, quite frankly, we've made changes and it kind of pulls the rug out under people. We're giving you basically a month-long grace period after the release of Kunark to get all of the epic components you farmed onto the right characters that you'd like to do the epics on. The reason for this is we felt this would devalue where you would actually, your whole experience with already farming that. Maybe people have guild banks stored to the nines with, different epic components and had a plan to do this. I don't want to impede on your plans. I think that would be unfair to the guilds that have planned meticulously for the last, nth months with some epic components. So now I think this will be better overall for everything.
Yeah.
We'll get into some of the other intricacies of this plan, but that is currently the plan. Now, there was also a second controversial patch note that we backpedaled on really quickly, and I'd like to touch on that very quickly because I was
Sure.
wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had changed the HP pool on a lot of creatures.
Oh yeah, I saw those.
My fear was that people were going to cheese these encounters. Instead, we need to really just embrace the fact that EverQuest is a fun game. If people want to complete content that way, they need to be able to do so. Emergent gameplay basically defined EverQuest in its infancy. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you noticed the patch note, but I've edited it like 7 times in the patch notes channel. But we are not going forward with the over like 128k or 64k. None of that will happen. At most, VP will have its HP regen removed, and I believe a player had mathed it out to 4,000 HP regen for 30 seconds. So we're going to remove the HP regen from the in combat for the VP dragons, and we're going to change it to 38,000. That is a good increase in difficulty and should be in line with the overall challenge. Now, outside of that, I think that will be a good change, right? That's an extra 6,000 hit points. Like that isn't too much. It's not going to devalue wizards as our previous plan would, and I think that people will be overall happy with the increased difficulty. Now, for those that did want the difficulty, we can go into that a little bit later. Some of the questions I've already answered in the AMA sheet that I've done ahead of this, again, will cover some of that entirely. So,
well, I'd say, I mean,
without further ado, I think this would be a good intro and interlude into that.
yeah, for sure. And it's the thing that I'm always impressed with is just the amount of consideration and attention to detail that, that you put into these decisions. And, and sometimes you have to adapt and things can change. Just for example, like I have a screaming child in the background, and so I might have to adapt by muting my mic here. So I apologize if y'all hear that. But in any event, there's one more thing that was triggered, because as you're going through these changes about hit points and other things that I probably personally selfishly will not ever get to experience the way that I play on Quarm, which is again hardcore self-found. I think there's value with explaining what exactly we're getting off the bat for early access Kunark. And maybe some of the thought process around locking it down to just Iksar, capping it at level 50, and just something brief around that and what we're looking forward to getting into tomorrow at I think 2 p.m. Central.
You're going to be able to level 50 starting tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, so it'd be 12 p.m. Pacific. I do not know what it is at GMT. Please don't at me. It's like 7 or 8. Yeah. But the point being, it's going to be smack dab in the middle of a Saturday. It's going to be a good time. We will have Iksars locked to the continent of Kunark. They can escape. They haven't figured out how the boats work yet. And for the people in Norath, they haven't quite discovered the continent of Norath. The reason we wanted to do this level of isolation is I've always found it kind of weird. All of a sudden, after all this time, there's just a continent there. And I guess they were having very much a lot of fun, and there was a lot of Iksar eggs, because a lot of different hatched Iksars just come out of nowhere at level 1. Just show up out of nowhere. And the guards of Kabbalists are just very confused the entire time. So this is kind of this opportunity to have, modernized Iksars finally interact with the new adventurers that are coming into the land. And from a lore perspective, that's kind of what happened, right? When Furion of A had the expedition that came over, you had Iksars randomly running into it. It's like almost like, people discovering the Americas for the first time. You never know what you're going to find on the other side. So that's kind of the approach. That's the lore reason. The second reason is we want to make sure this is something unique. I think having a lack of cleric or enchanter and only having shaman, only having warrior, only having shadow knight, only having monk, only having necromancer, and that kind of setup is going to be wild. I don't think anything like this has been attempted yet, because it's just a very offbeat idea. But someone, I believe in the Reddit thread for one of the Kunark questions, had asked this like months and months ago, and I was like, this person's onto something. We need to do this.
They know
this is really cool. Like I'd like to do things because they're fun for us.
Yeah.
I do think that if someone's going to have an enjoyable experience, and in a way, we've already had, modifications to this Like, we had solo self-found, we had hardcore, and we had,
Love it.
different modifiers. This is another way to kind of challenge people to get to max level. There will be titles individually that Ailia will be handing out for the first 50 of each Iksar class. So if you want to challenge yourself there's an
Oh
incentive.
man,
They
here we go.
they will not be ones you can choose. And if you want to choose your title on your Iksar, for example, level up Scaly or something like that, I don't know, there might
Yes.
be some opportunity.
Yes.
You'll be able to, make your character. You can go through hardcore solo self-found. There will be a priest of Discord that is an
Oh,
Iksar
there we go.
on.
Okay.
See, there you go.
There
You
it
were
is.
waiting
Wrap it up,
for it.
boys. We can.
You were waiting. You can, okay, the AMA's over, Larry.
That's
says.
right. That's right.
There will be a priest of Discord there so that we can actually, talk about all this stuff. And we were talking. I was looking at the questions like, that's a really good idea. See, just sometimes
Yeah.
I'll be browsing the Discord, and I'm going to be honest, I've never transferred my design document for anything we're doing onto paper. This is supposed to be a blessing and a curse. If I die, if the server continues on and it has me, it's going to be fine. The reason I did this is because I don't want people to control the direction that has been successful. Sometimes we'll put wild ideas we're not sure about, like the HP change, in public. But other things that are, immutable and, fundamental to our experience, sometimes we just won't post them. I saw someone in chat, Icarus, who has actually been, talking to me constantly about different things that they've been wanting to see changed. They've called me in a couple of different things, and I'm like, I like being held accountable for things that I, put out there. And I've even seen comments like, how are you going to handle loot rules and stuff like that? And it's like, I don't know. We're going to have to play it by ear. Sometimes it's better to just stick to something won't break it entirely.
Sure.
And then you see how it works out in practice. Those are the kind of things that we want to do, as a development team. We work with the TACP, folks still. We're still using their database. We're still using their code base. We're a bit behind, and when we actually get caught up, there might be some, things we're going to be doing a big testing period. Elraz has been going through and, content getting stuff properly and seeing what area that actually belongs in. Some of that is custom for Quarm, so we're going to have to go through and make sure all of that works once that upgrade's completed. We're not entirely too sure on that yet, but please expect that to actually be a thing that happens.
Absolutely.
Speaking of swarms of lizards.
Yes.
For those who don't have the time to compete on a level 50 grind for their class, in addition, there will be a title for the first 20th level lizard.
Oh.
Yeah, that's awesome. There we go. Of each class,
something you could complete this weekend, and I don't expect it to take very long.
No, that doesn't sound like it would take very long at all. First 20th. Is it any class or just the first of each
Any
class?
class, first level 20 lizard.
Okay, then that's what it's going to be. Look, I put the whole title and milestone thing in the alias court because I don't want to end up in a situation where we say something off the record and we have to give someone a fungi and then they delete their character or something like that. I don't know. That might happen. First solo self-found level 20 as well. Solo or self-found level 20. Do you want to do that, Ailia?
They get their own titles anyway, just from the normal self-found
just
rewards.
That's true. So we'll keep that separate.
Okay. Well, it looks like I'll have to. I don't know if I raised enough wife faction to guarantee enough playtime to get 20 this weekend, but we'll sort through that after this Q&A. So good. That's awesome. It's exciting. Let's get into this. And so I will pull up the question. And again, these were pre-submitted questions that were on the Project Quarm Discord that had been collected over the last, couple of days or so. And so we're going to go through those. And then those of you who are submitting questions on the stream using the !Q, no comments with your question, we'll get to those at the end. So let's do this. All right. So first question coming from Luna. With the Kunark spells being droppable, I feel like we may see some strain with, I'm reading off of a very small screen.
We saw some stream.
I see where my head's at. Saw some strain with our guild banks. Would there be a way to make these spells stackable to make storage easier?
This is something we're researching. It's not really something we're prioritizing high in development right now. Like this is not the top of our list. I just need to test it, see if it works. And if it doesn't, let's look at alternatives to doing that. we can start looking into options like, can we store these on an NPC without even taking the item slot up? For example, I know we've done this historically for text-based menus and EQ emulator, so maybe we should go that route. If you could just retrieve a scroll from an NPC that just stores the item for your entire guild or something like that.
That
would be a little bit more interesting, and honestly, a little bit more easier for guilds. We could do this for like sky items too in the future. I think those would be better alternatives if this doesn't work out. If this works out, great though. Just make everything stackable. I haven't actually tried it. I've just been too lazy. Other things have been taking priorities. So
understandable. All right. Thrang asks, can VP weapons be made tradable so they aren't seen as junk loot?
No, we were going to buff VP weapons at one point and decided against it. Might still be on the cards. I'm not committing to it at this time, though.
Okay. Zalm asks, seeing as you've made a lot of quality of life changes, any thoughts on balancing Iksar armor? Maybe let them use Kunark clicky sets? An Iksar and Pinkasite would be hilarious also.
We did actually investigate this. And I almost want to do it just based on the phrase Iksar and Pinkasite, but I think that we could do some alternative stuff for that. There's going to be an opportunity.
That sounds very exciting.
No.
All right.
We'll still picking classic races. Ogres, trolls kind of get put to the wayside, and especially once you get to like Planes of Power and stuff. Just based on gear accessibility, and then of course Ogre has frontal stun, Iksar has a small amount of AC mitigation, and then they also Iksar also just has that regen on top of that. Yeah. So not only do they get the troll regen, but they also get the AC bonus on top of it. I know there's some hypocrisy here. We can make changes. We should maybe make changes, but we won't be doing this. I just feel like it's important for EQ race identity to stay the same. This largely fades out by Planes of Power anyway in terms of usefulness, because gear doesn't really matter at that point anyway. A lot of the clickies that you'll be using from that era don't really become Planes relevant for maybe a few. So it won't really be a problem today.
Okay. Grind Lord. This is really small. How would trade skill items work for epics and self-found players? Great question. Such as Tinkered Rebreathers for Warrior Epic. Is there any chance that at some point after the Kunark release, that solo/self-found flagged players could have an avenue for some kind of way to obtain their epic, possibly through a massive plat sync or otherwise? I'm very interested in the answer to this question.
That's a good question, and something we really haven't just looked into or considered in depth just yet. But I imagine we'll just add in special quests as we did for the enchanted bars for Soul Row. Mm-hmm. If you can't make a rebreather, it needs to be. I don't want Gnome Warriors to be the only one that get their epic. I'm sorry, Barthorn. I need to make sure that this becomes accessible to every single class and race combination in the game to do their epics when you're already limiting yourself to that extent. I would say for raid completions though, we're not doing that. If you want to solo a raid mob, you have to solo a raid mob. Certain things are not going to be soloable. And some epics will be uncompletable because of that. So
yeah, that's totally fair.
It's a good trade-off.
Yep, I agree. All right. Finwich asks, I'm a bit confused about how Chardock is going to work. Is it revamped? Is it not revamped, but the mobs from the revamp are in? Are the faction NPCs in? Is SWC, I'm not sure what that stands for. Is SWC a quest and a drop?
Spirit Rack just to be clear. That's the Spirit Rack Cord.
Got it. Spirit Rack Cord. I'm such a noob. And drop, or just one or the other? If the faction is in, are the Droga goblins dropping salts? So there's like 4 or 5 questions here. Good luck tackling this one.
Yeah. So the truth of the matter is that a lot of the development on both Chardock and Nurga and Droga and such had just fallen to the wayside until the very last. There is an effort by Elraz and Torvin, everyone else on TAC B side. Torvin's not part of TAC B, sorry, dude. I need to make sure that's excluded a little bit. But he works with us directly on a lot of different. We just basically had this fall to the wayside, and Elraz is going to make the changes that we'll later import. We disabled the drops though. Don't get me wrong, Sheldoran's not going to be in. All of the name loot from that revamp in Velious not going to be until Velious, and that specific moment in time in Velious. But we are going to keep some quest items in, like this includes the Spirit Rack Cord and related quests. I don't really mind keeping those in at this point. I don't think it would be a problem to keep those in at all. I know they're very powerful items, but they're also chase items, people. In terms of the drop, I imagine we'll keep the very small 0.01% chance from the Lore Keeper, I think it is, in Charnock, or whatever, which one it is. And we'll also keep the quest in too. It's just such a minute chance that I don't think it would be a problem to keep it in, because the chances are that you'll actually hit that drop chance. It's just so low that you're better off doing the
Sure.
quest every time anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't really mind keeping those in at all.
Okay. Let's see. Katina asks, is the Kazik Quill going to drop more often from General Vigera for the Rogue Epic? The robes are a PETA to get already, and if the drop rate is as low as it says it is now, it's gonna be a huge blocker. I botched that up, but you get the gist of it.
Yeah, is Kazik Quill and the Rogue Epic going to be dropping more often from General? And the answer is that they'll drop at their normal rate. However, when Kunark officially launches and we have time to address all the epics and change everything, we'll only require one of the 4 items. You'll either need one of the swords or one of the robes, so that it will be significantly less hard to complete, at least for an individual purpose. In fact, I almost want to just disable the Kazik Quill drop entirely from General, and that you have to do the robe, because or something like that. Because I don't like the fact that people can sometimes get lucky and complete it faster than other people. I think that's poor design. I think that you should have to go out of your way, to get the drop that you need to progress the quest, and everything else that you get on top of that percentage chance base. The RNG, it's like playing a gotcha slot machine with like 50%, 50-50, and if you lose, that's a lot of time wasted. Not too much relative with instances and so on and so forth active, but I think that we should definitely make it easier to complete that portion. I always hated that portion. That's my motivation. I'm like, I don't want to have to go in there and turn in quests. So that's where I'm at.
For sure. All right, Grimlock asks, will highly sought after spells, aka torpor for shamans, be as dismal of a drop rate as it is on P99 or live, or will instances have a higher drop percentage, or maybe be no drop to prevent plat hogs? Drop rates are between 0.2% off Drake/Guardian type mobs to 0.5% on raid targets. So
we're not going to be adjusting drop rates on different things before launch. The rates in the database are those on live for Kunark Early Access, and it's official launch. That's the short answer of it.
Excellent.
I guess the slightly longer answer would be there's going to be more in circulation anyway because of instancing.
Fair enough.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, Salia. Salia. Yeah. When is the DB? Lilia. Thank you. When is the DB drop? The database going to drop? Oh my gosh. When is the DB drop going to happen for the open source contributors? Goodness, me reading the questions alone, I have one job and it's getting more difficult the longer. Okay.
You dropped the ball here. Your database dropped the ball here. It's okay. There will be a DB drop ahead of the official launch on July. We've already done one ahead of early access, expected the week of. There's going to be basically 2 ahead of launch. I kind of want to add some Easter eggs before launch, so we'll get to that.
Okay. I see. All right. Cute Lizard asking the question, are the Kunark Archaeologists quests in game?
They're not right now, but we will be implementing these and adjusting nerf.
For
the
those
rewards as sneaking. Like, these are quests that were fixed in about 2017 by Dark Paul Game. The rewards that some of them offer are massively out of era. For example, there's a shield that gives Primal Avatar, but it's like a lesser version of it. There's a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I would say that the Skull Cap also kind of fits into this bucket of things that were, the Skull Cap, I believe, came out in either Almonds of War or Gates of Discord, much years and years and years after, Planes of Power had finished. So that's not in our game client. And I think that the life tap over time that the Skull Cap offers is too powerful. I'd rather give Iksars access to a high-level utility spell that would be basically mana-free, that they don't have to keep in their spell gems. Like Pet Haste or
Clarity would be cool.
Some sort of Archlick or so. I don't know, something so they don't have to keep on their bar, basically. Sure. I think that would be a net benefit. I mean, even live, has extra spell slots. But before they had extra spell slots, they had spells and quickies to kind of make it easier on people to not have to, keep them on there. So it might be even the same cast rate, just mana free. So
Yeah.
look forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Avenal asks, are there any plans to help with the Sarnak Herbalist for the Necromancer Epic? It was posted in the Epic suggestion thread, as is. Excuse me. It's a public bottleneck that can be camped and locked down. Will the Menisi herb be available to drop in the Chardock instant zone, or any changes made to its spawn?
I think that will just kind of address these as they go, right? There's a lot of things that might end up legacy by the end of this that aren't legacy now. Mainly if they start becoming bottlenecks. It's basically if Keenan, Adelar, and Lewin and Ailia start hearing about things that are problematic, we're going to start squishing them out, especially if there's long waits or lines for things we miss. Yeah. We're trying to get as many as we can ahead of the official launch and ahead of early access, but there's only so much manpower in the day, and there's also there's only so many things we can reasonably do before these launch.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the end of it.
Perfect.
We'll address it as it goes.
Yep. Hoptastic asks, with the Kunark Early Access and Epic drops being enabled, will that also include enabling old world spawns such as Burgurgle and Ejag, or only drops off of already spawning mobs?
Okay. So this was one I was deliberating for a while on. If we were to do this, it would make the epics completable for paladins and rogues. And then the question is, do we want paladins and rogues to suffer? And the answer is, they've suffered enough. Look at Moist, for example, in Tranquility. That guy suffered enough. Give him his epic already. He's put in the work. He could put in a little bit more to finish this out. Don't make these people that play some of the worst classes in Classic suffer any more than they need to, right? So yes, we're going to be having all of the Kunark content, all of the epic drops, Finny, Interruck, everything Kasich will have is, eye or whatever he has. What is it? Skin, I believe, or something like. I don't know. The point is, all these epic pieces will be in, but you won't be able to traverse them to your XR character. You won't be able to visit Kunark. So some epics will be completable, some weren't, and we're perfectly fine with that.
Sure.
You'll have to discover the technology to complete your epic.
That's right.
Effectively.
All right, good deal. Will Warriors gain triple attack at 60 during Kunark? Asks, difficult.
Warriors will gain triple attack at 60 if they had it during 60 in Planes of Power. I don't know the mechanic for this off the top of my head, but if they did in Planes of Power, they'll have it here. We haven't touched any of that code.
All righty. Bubby, can you post a list of the legacy items, please? Are certain sought-after items that aren't currently listed as legacy going to be legacy?
This will be posted for the ones I'm aware of following launch. It's a fairly short list for now. Offhand, I can think of the Goblin Gazugi Ring, the Fungus Tunic, and the Staff.
Yep.
The Circle of Shadows, the Moss-Covered Twig and Branch, and I think that might... Oh, there's the Rune Fighter Staff. Tonpo's Bow Stick of Understanding still needs to be added in, but that's going to be in. That's a different question, though. I think I just answered ahead of time. And we'll add more as time goes on as needed, right? If there's things that would actually fit for the timeline that aren't blatantly overpowered, they'll be in. Also, with regards to the ratios to some of these monk staffs that drop, we did nerf significantly one of the items ahead of the official launch. I think it's on PQDI already for one of the monk staffs that you'll be able to see it. You'll know which one it happens. Someone sent me the ratios, and I was just like, yeah, that makes sense to nerf it. So there's proper progression all the way up to tracking on.
Man, that was the one I was gonna get on my hardcore character. I'm
sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll figure that one out. All right, good deal.
Cool.
Locket of Escape, a legacy item. Just a quick little.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I was going to effectively, this is just something we could just add it. Yeah. Are you on the same page I am, by the way, Larry? Did you skip a page? I'm looking at this. I'm reading from the answers.
Sorry. That was me throwing a curveball.
Scrolling down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. That. You threw me a curveball.
The
answer,
did.
Yeah, sure. We have the Ring of the Dead, right? So the Ring of the Dead is, kind of one of those things where the quest exists. If we had the locked up escape, I'd rather just drop randomly off of any of the Drogo bosses. Just like we did cut out the Circle of the Shadow, which is going to drop off of any of the Drogo bosses. We want to make sure that we don't have a bottleneck on just one specific camp. If people go down to camp, that they should be able to get a couple different mobs. The bodyguards will drop it. Chief Ruckus will drop it. The Soothsayer will drop it. Different creatures will drop it. Basically, that are either placeholders or named. Basically,
for sure.
That's the short of it.
Thanks for fielding that curveball there. Quarm hopeful. Excuse me. Yes or no to making Green Mist completable during June early access period?
No, some content is restricted to the release of Kunark officially. This is one of them.
All right. Infern asking the question, why didn't you call the no drop fungi tunic non-fungible tunic? It would have been cool to include it.
Easter eggs are often hidden in places you wouldn't expect. Our entire content is open source, so we got to be careful with actually placing them in the public release. If you've been digging through the public release for this, know that I already know you're doing that. And we have to be more sneaky than we already are about stuff like that. Especially on their happenstance fun things that happen. Remember when we added the barrels for the April 1st event? We had to be sneaky about that. Those weren't in the dump on purpose. We're going to make sure people have the ability to have fun with, wacky items. And that one we have to be particularly careful of making temporary or something like that.
Yeah.
Because if you hand it to a creature that's like level 1, it's going to slowly die. It's going to just slowly, its regen won't catch up in time. If you were to hand spreading crud to a creature, it will just die over time, technically. So maybe it's okay, maybe it's not. We'll see.
Yeah.
But we have a non-fungible tunic that's actually in the database already, and it has spreading crud as a warn effect because Web3 crud is spreading out through the entire internet for the last couple of years. That's our way of acknowledging it and kind of putting it in as the obvious joke, right?
Indeed.
Please look forward to it.
There you go. Thrang asking the question, can we get custom quests to increase the number of bag slots in the bank sometime in the future?
I actually don't remember what we were going to do for this. Throwing me curveballs.
No. That's official.
That's official? No, I know, but it's not in the... It's not at the very top of the list, though. It's fine. I'll just control F. I have the ability. Okay. This is oh yeah, it is in the way, isn't it? Can we get a custom quest to increase the number of bag slots? No.
Oh, I see. Yeah, they're flipped.
Yeah.
I see that. Oh,
they're
man.
flipped.
See?
Yeah, see what you
that's strike two for me. Strike two for me.
Did me dirty. Anyway, it's not under plans, at least not in the way you've directly described. We're about 2 years out from even enacting that plan if we so choose. There's certain zones that would actually make sense to enable a shared bank in a way. I think I just told the plan. Oops.
Done did it. Delete the VOD.
Delete the VOD. Yes, I am the boiler.
All right.
I used to play Warhammer.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. There you go. Look at that. Caradol, will VP zoning be simplified, i.e., possible to port out?
This isn't something we planned. Maybe we should. That'd be cool. I think we're going to do that. I think that's a cool idea. I hate that zone. Just in general, I hate that zone. But particularly, screw the fact that you have to run all the way towards the boss of the zone in order to get ported out. At least in instances, you could drop your raid and get ported out. Right?
Yeah. Wow, losing my voice. Goodness gracious. I'm not used to talking this much
water.
secrets.
Drink some water.
Let me drink some of this beverage here. Okay.
We
Hydration.
had 69 questions to go through. Nice.
All right. Hopefully that helps. Okay. Moving on here. Dose Pack asking the question, will other Kunark quests get the legacy treatment?
The legacy treatment. Let me take a look at this. Generally, bottlenecks will be addressed. I think we covered this above. Yeah. We'll just evaluate as time goes on. We want to make sure that we get the high ticket ones on release. If we release and the fungi staff and this fungi tunic are being camped by one person ad nauseum, and there's no way to get any other person with that item, that's a problem. I think that's just problematic. So just moving quickly and addressing these quickly is going to be a good idea. And just to speak specifically, because I saw this in chat, I'm just going to answer it ahead of time. the fungus-covered scale tunic and the staff are droppable nearly always from the main creature, but they are no trade and require level 50 to loot. Outside of that, you can get a tradable version by killing any mortuary fungus in the area. There was a number of changes that were anti-bottleneck. Just like, the Obelisk Death Shroud drops randomly from Froglocks. This will drop randomly from, the fungus men throughout the entire area.
Love it. Gives me a chance. All right. We
real quick before we continue.
Yep.
That's my girlfriend in chat that said, "Damn, Secrets is really looking good tonight. I love her so much. Thank you for showing up on my stream. I love you a lot.
That's amazing.
And thank you for being so supportive, even through all this craziness and Quarm development and so on and so forth."
I echo those sentiments. So big shout out to Zeno. I hope you don't mind me saying it shortly. Zeno,
Yeah,
I'm terrible at saying names.
That's fine. It's Zeno.
But that's awesome. Nice to have you out there, Zeno.
You can also just call her by her name, Robin. She's wonderful, and I love her.
Robin, fantastic, awesome. All right. So you answered this one earlier, but we'll just capture it here real quickly. Will Tonpo's bow staff of understanding get legacy status, or will the item drop at all?
Yes, rarely from Trachodon. It will be a permanent addition, and it will have legacy loot flags associated with it, which means it will also be no trade. It won't be until July 1st. I think it is already trade, so there you go.
There you go. All right, Rilo asking the question, with limitations to and from Kunark, will there be an EC tunnel equivalent in Kunark for Iksar during the pre-launch? Oh man, where would we post up at as Iksars? Huh.
You're going to have to go into the wilderness and socialize with each other like the lizards you are.
Yeah.
We will not have meal support for the Kunark launch. Any sort of Iksars that get created there will be kind of in their own personal hell where they can't they can't do anything. So they can't log in, but they keep getting funded back to Kunark. But they're not supposed to be in Kunark either, so they just can't be created. No, I'm joking. The command will make Iksar meals. So.
Oh man, that's great. We'll have to we'll establish something, y'all. We'll figure that one out. All right. Oenla asking the question, leveling and grouping is going to be awkward with only 5 classes playable. Never mind, most probably aren't going to focus on tanks or shamans. I don't know about that. But anyway, I digress. Any way to make it feel less restrictive? I'm totally not asking for more XR classes. That's silly.
Can you imagine?
I mean, yeah.
I'd sooner make barbarian paladins before I'd add another XR class. What would even add? And even then, it would probably be after Planes of Power, right? What would even fit that identity? You want an XR paladin? Like, what are we looking for?
I think we've
XR
always
cleric?
talked about rogues.
I don't know.
XR rogues.
Rogues, that would, yeah, but they don't steal from their own society, right?
I guess there's the Lord. There's, let me not even go down.
I mean, you say that, but you see Iksar brigands everywhere.
It's true. Yeah, they're martyrs and all
that.
But they're
exiled. They're not part of their functioning society. They're exiled.
Yeah.
And even then, they're more warrior. They hold fear ashes. They're not really stabby type. They're exiled warriors that have been disgraced from their homeland. They don't really know anything about stealing. The concept of stealing doesn't really exist in their society. In Iksar society, when you steal, you're just straight up killed.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
That's fair. Or maybe it was Ranger. Anyway, okay, let's press on.
Yeah.
Space Duck asking the question, will Iksar armor quests item be adjusted along the same lines as the other mid-level armor quests? Like stat adjustments to the scaled mystic gauntlets, for example, that happened. I think it makes them closer to totemic or something like that.
Good call.
Yeah.
Let's get this done ahead of Kunark launch. It's not done right now, but it's like, let's get that done. I feel like that's important.
I like it.
This is one of those McQuaidisms where you had the gear and fear just with the wrong stat on.
Yeah.
Why do Shadow Knights need whiz? Why do why do shamans need end? We don't need that kind of thing.
Right. Monks with wisdom or something weird, or yeah.
Monks with wisdom are weird. It's strange to me. Just put it in agility, at least it's not completely weak.
Right. All right, cool.
D&D habits die hard.
Exactly.
Indeed. Galley asking the question, Cleric Epic, will the X4 shards farm and Skyfire be activated?
Yeah, due to the nature of how they're farmed, we're not really anticipating any bottlenecks or, massive changes, especially with AoEing being limited as it is. That will not require any changes to the drop method or chant.
All right, perfect. The Snow Himbo asking, will the clipping plane changes made in classic zones recently apply to Kunark zones too? Oh man, yeah. Let's crank it up in like Emerald Jungle and Tracking its teeth.
Ailia, one of the first things they've ever done in any of the servers we've been in, remove the entire clip lane in Emerald Jungle, and I had about 15 frames per second
Yeah.
on the Titanium client.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're going to go that far, but you're going to be able to see further.
I mean, so
definitely not
Okay,
20,000 units, basically.
I mean, realistically, we can adjust it for everything quite a bit, just not Emerald Jungle.
Okay.
Yeah, basically. It's going to be a per zone basis like we do. Right? But yes, I'll probably do them all mellowed out for my upcoming surgery. But by the way, please don't burn everything down. I have a surgery coming up. Very important.
Hopefully hopefully it's after
we'll go into that
July 1st.
after the AMA. Yeah.
Sure.
It's June 5th.
Oh, shoot, we're okay.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Perfect.
We're okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Bear curious. What will be done to help low level EXP? Kerns will be a nightmare if it's not adjusted. Oh, Kerns is gonna be popping. Oh man, I can't wait.
There'll be no adjustments to experience rates in Kunark. We're gonna actually have no event bonuses active. We're not even gonna do an event until October. We will slightly boost the experience race per the timeline in dungeons globally, but a significant boost to experience gain beyond that will not be present until Velious. By the way, I'm gonna just put this out there. What are the GM events that we're gonna be hosting ahead of? I said there would be 3. There would be one tonight.
Yeah.
And there would be one tomorrow before the XR Early Access launches. We are going to open Oops all ice bones one last time before launch. It'll be a nice little grinding extravaganza tonight. I'm not sure. Probably following the AMA. We can go in there and do that. So yes, please expect that. That will close during the downtime tomorrow.
Awesome.
And then there'll be one in the morning tomorrow as well before we take the server down.
Oh man.
One of those end of the world things. So look forward to it.
Love it. Daniel asking, can you change active character lockout timers before Kunark? Wait, did I skip one? No, I didn't. Most of us Zeal users spend half an hour per day looking at a lockout screen due to crashing when zoning, and that just sucks.
I agree. However, these crashes from Zeal are up to the Zeal author to fix. Before Zeal, we didn't have these crash issues. I'm still convinced that they're not on our end. That being said, this does just suck. I don't think any of us want to have these crash issues happen. We're working on an unrelated zoning crash between instances. There's no timeline on that one, but the Zeal thing is very unfortunate, right? Because it adds so much, but they haven't been able to narrow it down. I'm going to have to spend some time and kind of get in the weeds there with Salty a little bit more intimately. I've been guiding him into the direction, but realistically what I need to do is just go in there and kind of fix the issue myself. I don't know why this happened. And that's because I don't actually have intimate knowledge of the Zeal code.
Yeah. So
where the lockout's already pretty small. If we do it any smaller, people can just escape combat by typing /Q. That's the problem. So it's unfortunate, but it's something we got to fix on the client side, not the server.
For those who aren't, this is curveball incoming, but hopefully an easy one to articulate, because I was going to try to do it, but I will fail miserably. But could you describe what Zeal is and what it delivers to the Project Quarm player base for those who decide to opt into that?
So Zeal, I'm going to link the actual link to it. It's an open source third-party add-on that we have we have officially approved, right? This thing is effectively a complete add-on pack. This I don't know if how many in this chat have actually played Quarm on launch, but everyone complained about the camera and how much it sucked. I agreed. We had someone actually approach me and said, "Hey, I'm going to fix the camera," and I said, "Cool. Let me know when it's fixed." I expected nothing of this, to be honest. But then, a month later, they come back and they say, "Well, I fixed the camera," and it's like, "You what? You what? You did the what?" And it's like, okay, we need to get this out to players immediately.
Yeah.
And ever since then, we started, having different UIs show up with we added the mana label. That we added this custom pipe that uses C# to actually read data from the log files as opposed to just grinding your hard drive. It's a named pipe that runs on the local computer. You can output a string through the named pipe. There's a tooltip timer change. There's so many different things there. There's a field of view option. You can change between the field of view between 45 and 90. There's a melody command now. We started to just embrace all this QOL thing, right?
For sure.
We started right now. If you're in Project Quarm and you press left click to drag your camera around, you can actually do the left click pan from the modern clients and this very archaic client. It works pretty well. And all that jitter for up and down, left to right movement, that's all gone. That is all gone. And you know what? I'm going to just real quick just shout out Salty.
Yeah, big shout out to Salty for sure.
Salty, aka Clint, has that spent a ton of time working with the community on. We are going to be adding a guild roster window, which I have time to do. We're going to be able to have a guild management window. We're going to be able to do moving players between raids spots. There is a bunch of QL coming that's still not even in there. And I mean, we have autofire, we have melody, we have the Zeal camera, we have the ability to open and close all bags with one keybind, we have strafe, we have everything you'd expect out of the modern clients in terms of UI functionality.
Yeah.
The strafe has a dedicated keybind. Cycle through targets was a big one for enchanters that prevented them from playing the game. Those are all in. You can download Zeal right now, and you can go use it. Spell sets are in. You can right-click on your spell gems and select the spell you actually want to scribe. There are so many different little cool things that this adds that you should definitely check it out if you were on the fence about trying Project Quarm, because there wasn't like a mana label or something like that. Or if you couldn't toggle between the last two targets, you didn't have a dedicated pet attack, guard, follow, or back key, or something like that, or no dedicated auto inventory key. All this stuff is back. It is available. It is free. That is one of the best things that has ever happened to Quarm, and I really appreciate this random community member. This is the power of open source, right? You open it up, you give people the option to kind of mod things, and they come up with the most amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
Where's my map secrets?
What do you mean? The map? The map in-game map? I did actually ask for that. I did provide him some things, so maybe he comes up with that. I don't know. That would be really cool because we want such a good quality of life experience. People use third-party programs to parse the log file through name pipes right now. It would be much better to just have the map in game. Quarm tool. Oh yeah. Forget about that. That's another community resource.
Quarm
That's a log file parser.
Well.
It's amazing. There's also a Quarm guide, that community resource that helps you get started now. These are things that I didn't even authorize or ask people to make these. People just love what we're doing here enough to try these, and I'm gonna get Quarm tool as well.
Awesome. Perfect. Yeah,
I haven't used Quarm tool yet. Actually, I still have to set that up. Zephon is amazing. Also, Zephon, I already know the Field of Bone thing because I'm doing that for the whole tonight.
Nice.
All right, we're continuing on here a little bit. That was a good answer, though. The Zeal author is an amazing person. I'm going to continue to just say they're fantastic. They actually have a Patreon.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So what we don't take direct donations in for the server, but we do let people do to contributors. That is the Zeal author's Patreon. I'm shouting him out. He is a fantastic person. If you've used Zeal and you're playing in the game client and you appreciate his work, please consider donating to him. He is fantastic. You don't get anything in return. You will never get anything in return for giving anything to anyone on the server. If you give us money, we're going to probably spend it on beer or pizza or rent.
If you somehow manage to give me money, I will ban you.
If you give Ailia money, they will ban you because that's what they just do.
Oh.
And I will give Ailia. I think I've given you money in person, haven't I, Ailia?
No, I think you actually still owe me for dinner.
Oh dear. Well, there you go.
Well, I might have to make another trip this year. It's been almost a year since that trip happened.
Excellent.
It'd be cool to go out west again. So anyway, onwards.
Right. Onwards. Okay. Puck C. Will we see Oakwind in any form?
Yeah, you've seen the Oakland twins in the one event, or at least an alternate version of them. Oh, you meant the TM event item. Yeah, we're gonna have that. So we have a
Oh.
system where we award time-limited items now from GM events. Please keep an eye out for events that we may host sporadically. Any items that are awarded from these events will always be temporary, except for the ones leading up to Kunark launch because they don't affect the game massively. We've had issues in the past with perceptions of fairness and GM event items. I will also say it's my dream to allow artifacts, but have a twist for them. The player who earns them must earn their keep, and getting them might have unintended side effects with them, like being able to be killed and killing while having their artifact looted, as long as the person's in a level range. This Halloween should be good fun when you're dealing with the terror that is the person with the Oakwood.
Yes. Fantastic. Real quick, if you hear any system sounds from my side, I apologize. Just heads up. That was my side. All right. Continuing on here. AK Lone Wolf asking the question, with many epics taking place in City of Mist, is there going to be a City of Mist instance to help prevent turn-in / epic fight bottlenecks?
Yeah, it's something we're considering. We want to make an instance version of City of Mist. If anything ever happens to that, like Kithakor, we just noticed that Kithakor is going to be an issue with all the rogues trying to complete the epics.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping during the downtime tomorrow, or before the downtime tomorrow, I'm going to put in the Kithakor instance that people just go to.
Wow.
It's already actually mostly done. That way, that Kithakor instance will be permanently nighttime with all the undead and all of the General Vigera, the Dark Elves, etc. in it. So
Awesome.
yeah, we'll look at things as they become problematic, and we'll fix the problematic thing.
Yeah.
So please note that that's our general. That's our approach.
Yeah. The way that you're doing business. All right. Clay's asking, I would like to understand the rationale behind this decision in the first place. Early access Iksars? I mean, why? Why? Well, we talked about that, but
we did
why?
talk about this. I'm just for the sake of this AMA and for the sake of the VOD that we're probably going to upload. I've always found it odd that out of nowhere, a bunch of lower level Iksars just randomly sprouted out of the city of Cavalis. They have an established society. The players around there should be the same as the other cities that have been around for years and years, right? The secondary incentive is so that we have an exciting experience for players that challenges them without the full roster of classes available. Without Clark and Enchanter, how far can people go? Can they kill the raid creatures? We'll see.
We'll see. We will most certainly see. All right, Sullen asking, will Axe Staff respawn change from 2 hours?
So this is an epic creature. Any bottleneck we deem problematic will be addressed. Be it. It might be time in the future when I get to it, but there is a dedicated thread specifically for epic concerns in Discord that we've been reading, we've been monitoring, and we've been making changes to. And I'm going to link that direct link. If you're in the Discord, you can click this. And it will open up your web browser, which should pop up to your Discord client, and that channel will appear. And that channel specifically is where you can post feedback items for upcoming epics. We will also have a separate one for the Charasis and the VP epic access quests. The only thing we're not budging on the VP access quests for is the Trekedon tooth, the Trekedon part of that. That's still going to be the bottleneck. Everything else will be do it at your leisure. We're not going to the part of TLP where we've gone to the perspective of we went from basically having this be impossible to contest over to not giving out all 4 medallions off of the same what was it, the XR and the Dreadlands. I was playing TLP, I play T-Creed. I'm playing it because I like to get inspiration, and honestly it's just fun to play the game.
Yeah,
I rarely get to do that without getting I can't detach from Quarm. So when I'm working on it, I'm like, yeah, I could be playing this, or I could be working on it, and I always stop playing like halfway through. I'm like, this is a waste of my time. So playing Teak allows me to also be separate from that. And do you mind if I go in a little bit of a tangent separate to that?
I don't mind at all. Go right ahead.
Go try Teak. Support the official developers of EverQuest. I think these people are phenomenal individuals. I met with them in PAX East not too long ago. I had sat down with one of their engineering staff and had, I was just talking to them and they started jotting stuff down on their phone. They legitimately do care about the product. I would definitely, 'cause I play there because one, I believe in what they're doing. The time lock progression servers, fantastic. EQ2 Origins, the new upcoming EverQuest 2 official server that is 2006 era based. Go play that. Maybe, and here's the hope someday, that they'll want to do an EQ2 Origins, but in the style of, like something like Quarm, like where we go back and we set all the combat formulas to the beginning. We, have that same kind of experience with quality of life. Or we could, they could even do it era accurately and then deal with all the drama and the DPS racing that comes with that. Or maybe they could add instancing to it. Who knows? It would be cool for them to consider a proper classic server someday instead of a TLP. One without chrono, one because EQ2's origin server disables chrono for consumption or trade. So I'm sure people are going to find a way around that, right? But the fact of the matter is that they didn't allow it to happen. Maybe they'll just disallow it from being the way you can enter the server if you use a chrono. Maybe they don't let you on the server and you have to sub. That would work perfect for EQ1. That would instantly stop every single multi-boxer that just uses disposable account.
Yeah.
And maybe they want that guaranteed revenue. But yeah, we started making quality of life changes, and I believe, I've been looking at the patch notes for EverQuest Live, and some of them, look like things that I've maybe told them in person, and I'm like, I don't know if they took that from there, but I'm all for, EverQuest being a better game across the board, be it on P99, be it on Quarm, be it on, Teak, be it on Live. They cited to me that the Project Quarm is actually good for their new player. If people are going from Project Quarm or P99 to Live, because Live is less brutal of a product, they might like Mercenaries, and now they're playing with their Mercenary on Live because that's an easier experience for them.
Yeah.
They might go from Live over to TLP because TLP is the nice little medium for them. They might play on Agnar because they like playing some power locked, and they want to have persistent character progression. There is an EverQuest server, be it official Darkfall servers or Project Quarm at P99 for everyone, and there's thousands of lapsed players that play on P99 that might have never tried Teak had they never had P99 or PQ to re-engage
Totally.
them as users.
Yep.
So we're also highly respectful of them. We want to promote them. We don't want them to fail. Why would anyone want them to fail? It's the same thing with the P99 versus PQ thing. Some people just absolutely want us to fail. Some people want P99 to fail. We're not about tribalism here.
Yeah.
We're about being humble enough to accept the fact that I am blessed to have the community that I do, that I'm blessed to have all the people watching me right now, and I'm blessed that we're still running. They could have just said the moment this appeared, no, you shouldn't run. It'd be hypocritical to some extent, right? Because P99 runs under agreement. But as long as we follow the agreement, as long as we don't try and rip them off, as long as we don't try and sell items, I think we'll be. There's no guarantee, right?
Sure.
I can't just say that, but I think that if we respect them, we promote them, we don't sell any items in the game, we don't sell subscriptions, we promote the game actively, we make sure that we're not trying to distribute any of their copyrighted material. We don't. That might be enough to just kind of let us coexist. I'd love people to go try Teak, like I said at the very start. Also, go try P99 green, blue, and red. Go try Live.
Especially
go try
red.
a Live server. Go try Red. Like Swish is gonna really love me for saying that.
Checks in the mail, Swish. You got 2 checks
Checks
in the mail.
There you go. Got 2 checks in the mail. Yeah. I had someone who said that they were a post office worker. And they came up to me at PAX East. We were in the tavern together there, and they said, I can only play the game 1 day a week for a couple of hours. I'm level 29 now. Project Quarm allowed this game to be accessible to me. And
wow.
I was just like, that made me so freaking happy that this person, even got their, I think it was their girlfriend, wife, or partner, whoever, involved with the game too, just because they wanted to experience the game with their friends, and this game was accessible for them. It worked for them. It made them have hope and optimism for the future that maybe they could raid too. If they raid even one day out of the week, that's more than they would raid on, any other, they wouldn't be able to do that on P99. They have nostalgia for the early combat for it. So
Yeah.
I absolutely love live. I love TLP. I love P99, and I, of course, made PQ in the image of the EverQuest that I love. So
Absolutely.
please give everyone a chance. I don't hate a single server. No one should. Ditch tribalism. It's done.
I agree, because at the end of the day, we're still all playing a 25, 26 almost year old game, and we're still finding enjoyment from it in the many shape, sizes, and forms that it takes. And so I think that alone is just worth being appreciative. Not saying that people aren't, but it's easy to get kind of caught up in the emotions of it sometimes. End of the day, I'm always just super grateful that we even have the ability to play a form of EverQuest, especially a form of EverQuest that I personally enjoy the most, which is, classic EQ. So all that plays into the same environment. And so, yeah,
We're
right there
all
with
part
you.
of the same zeitgeist, as they said.
That's it.
So-
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's a worthy, that was a very valid tangent. I appreciate you doing that, because I think it merits a reminder of just, we're all in this together as
We love
EverQuesters.
EverQuest here. Everyone
right.
in this chat that is watching this, they either love EverQuest or they hate it so much that they. I mean, Ailia was memeing about that earlier in our chat. So.
Oh, Ailia. All right. So, I will say this just to get everybody grounded here. So we are about halfway through the pre-submitted questions that were submitted, a little redundant, through Discord. And then we have a slew of questions that all of you out there on the stream, looking at you, have submitted that we will get into after that. So I will say that let's see, what time is it? Let's see if we can get through the rest of the pre-submitted questions here in the next 17 minutes. We'll take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly 17. Right at 9:30 my time, 10:30 your time, and then we will we'll take a 5-minute little intermission, and then we will crank out.
Take care of the users' questions. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And of course we'll check in here. I mean, we'll see where we actually land by the time we take the break, and then we can assess like how we all look for time. But for right now,
cool.
I'm good if y'all are good. So continuing on.
Absolutely good. Let's go.
All right. So Demi-Lich Skullcap ? From Infern.
This will likely be replaced with the Mana Flea gem slot free version. I think we already covered that.
Yep, we did.
We'll skip that one. Yep.
All right. Manichill asking, can Iksar have the skill to lick their own eye and satisfy their thirst? Wow.
No. Why
Wow.
would you want this?
What?
Why? Look, I made a promise that I'd answer all the questions. You have all made me regret that. Next one will be ask me almost anything.
That's right.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cute Lizard asking, keys for Howling Stones, Sebulus, VP, etc. Any chance that those will be part of a key system like Sky right now?
To get into the zones, yes. They will be added to the keyring system and not be required to enter. VP will be turned into a proper door, not just a gate that props open.
Very nice. Ranny asking the question, are there EXP penalties?
They haven't changed from Classic, and whatever's in live right now. So, yeah. Class 1s, no. Class 1s will not be in. For penalties, though. Obviously, we don't have any hybrid or, caster penalties or anything like that.
So,
we don't have that.
I mean, Iksar race penalty, -20%?
It's -20, yes. Same as Troll.
Okay. Got it. There you go. All right. Bizarro Stormy. Are there going to be any changes to the way VP trash spawns work? Such as worms, for example.
Would you love me if I was a worm?
Ooh. I mean,
we're not going philosophical. Yes, open world would be left unchanged, but instance VP will contain 18-hour respawns at minimum for all content. This is so the instance content can be a little bit more accessible to guilds who prefer to prepare for their encounters. as opposed to, just running in and hitting everything and, doing Sky every day because it's on an 18-hour lockout. Why, Project Faceless, did you do this every day for basically since Sky's up? Why are you like this? I am never doing an 18-hour lockout again for a zone as big as Sky. You concern me. I hope you're okay. Please take the downtime for 3 hours tomorrow to just not go into Plane of Sky. Kind of get ready for Kunark, but take a break. We're not bringing up the servers early. You can take a break. Fine.
Yep.
I'm giving you permission. Mom is giving you permission finally. So
some endearing advice. Yep, indeed. All right. Charlie asking a question. Some of the databases show that Kunark spells will drop off of Plane of Sky mobs. Will that start occurring after June 1st?
Yes, this will be the case. Beast Earth spells will still drop during Luclin from those tables, however. So
it's nice. All right. Fujak asking the question. Are the Iksar sets from Hate and Fear going to drop during Kunark on this server? I believe we currently have an amalgam of Hate. I can't say that word. And Fear 2.0 with classic mobs and drops.
You mean an amalgam Hate?
Amalgam of Hate. Amalgam
no,
of Hate.
Amalgam Hate. No, amalgam hate. That's like an amalgamate, I believe this is the case. Some of the gear that drops are completely out of era, though. I don't think some of the XR items are actually in it, even on TACP. I looked up that. The community resource has a list of items players may find as drops. pqdi.cc. I'm sure it'll be updated ahead of Kunark, and in fact, I'm pretty sure they already updated.
Perfect.
Again, actually, we're not affiliated with these websites, but it's so cool that they get made.
Oh yeah, I agree. I very much agree with that. There was actually a second part of that question, or another question that was from the same person. Will Enraged Golem for Wizard Epic have its Velious Era Fear 2.0 175,000 hit point stats?
I think that one is going to stay in. It's going to be a slog, but it's going to, it's part of completing a very powerful epic. Bring charm pets.
Yeah, there you go. Solution to all problems.
Yeah. It doesn't hit hard. Just bring charm pets.
Yeah, that'll do it. Cute Lizard, can you give a breakdown of what we might expect for King for VP or 2VP? I'm assuming, but perhaps incorrectly, that it might be a slightly less awful process than Project 1999, but any commentary you have on the whole process would be helpful.
The core fundamental quest will be mostly the same process. Expect ground spawns to spawn quicker, bottlenecks to be removed, and kind of an evaluation of spawns we may have to make more painless. This will be an ongoing thing as we find things that people, effectively crap on each other over. So we don't want that. We don't want people to be upset at each other.
Yeah, we don't want that. Spife asking the question, what time on the 1st will we be able to play our lizards? Midnight gaming session or a more sensible time on Saturday morning? Lizard Fest when? Can we remind the folks out here?
3 p.m.
There we go.
3 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain if you live there for some reason, and then 12 p.m. Pacific time, and I think it's like 7 o'clock for GMT. It will be on tomorrow, June 1st. You are 1 day away. You don't have to wait that long.
Less than 1 day. Oh, I can't wait.
Dawn of the final day. 24 hours remain.
Oh, man. All right. Tillery asking, will someone complete the Froglock of Krupp and make a dungeon for them? Oh, seriously. The whole village needs some attention.
An interesting idea. It's it did in EQ2. I'll have to keep an eye in mind for like the event dungeon or something. It'd be cool to have like a proper Krupp village. This area existed actually in EQ2, and it was more of a city you could align yourself with. Temporary faction. They had a couple of these in EQ2. They were directly in contention with the Sebulus Froglocks in EQ2. So we could do something along those lines.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I think it'd be cool.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. Thrang asking the question, what will the spawn timers be in Field of Bone / Kern's Tower on release, considering players will probably far kill fast?
Farm.
It's going to be crazy. Farm.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, we're going to be camping spawn points like the good old days. That was with accelerated spawn respawn timers for Quarm initial launch. But what does Field of Bone respawn timer look like?
The Field of Bone and Kern's Tower will have the newbie respawn code activated in both the dungeon
Oh.
and the newbie zone. If everything
Oh.
gets too bad, we have a contingency plan of activating a portal to Oops All Ice Bones in the Field of Bone.
It's going to be wild out there. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it's going to be a hellscape. Go to Swamp of No Hope. It's going to be easier. That's a secret strat.
You really think so?
Lake of Ilamen, Swamp of No Hope.
Swamp
Go
of
there
Nope
instead of
Nope is what we call that in the industry.
Yeah, yeah, we do. Nope. I don't want to go,
Nope,
but I
nope.
mean, Lake of Ilamen has level 1 creatures, right? So you could try it.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to know. I'll have to adjust my leveling path a little bit. All right. Nicholas. Oops, all goose featuring the... oh, wait. That's an answer. Or that's a typo. Hold on. Let me... hold up. What did I do here?
What did you do here?
What did I do here? Okay.
Do
well,
I have to ask the question myself now? Like...
Yeah, that's kind of weird, right? Will there be any new special zone events opened or planned, like Domain of Frost and Hollis, for example, or near Kunark launch? Any hints? Will we get Kunark / Iksar themed events zone, so on and so forth? You touched on this earlier about the goos and whatnot, which,
Oops, all goos.
yeah.
Featuring the Cly, but they're a goo. Everything's a goo. Just in time for spooky season and another one of the Oakwind twins to appear.
There you go.
This time I'm going to get their genders right. Because I gender swapped Lureset. I'm so sorry, Lord.
Oh, man. All right.
They're raised the female.
Yeah.
Oops.
Swish asking the question. Will there be... appropriately asking the question here. Will there be PvP quakes?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe. No.
Oh.
Maybe.
Okay.
You know where you can go to if you want PvP? It's this cool project that has a PvP server.
Oh, there it is. Try red.
It has
instead.
the red server. Go try red. It is one of the... and if that's not your thing, go try the Gangsta Box. That is ROI, aka what's their name? Rainath, ROT, right?
Yeah.
Rainathul. I was thinking of Realm of Insanity, the guild. No, this is Rainathul.
Yep.
This place is cool. rotpvp.com. Go there. That is the current flavor of the month PvP server. They have, this follows the continuation of like Image, DevNoob servers, and the Rise of Sex servers, all these kind of different things. The Void Box, everyone else, they're there right now. They're there because that's where it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
If you're that into PvP, try red or this. Both are fine, but definitely try red because I just like memeing about that at this point. A lot of clips about that. And I'm sure this is going to get clipped too.
That's
try
clip.
red.
Yep, clip it and ship it.
Yep,
Swish. You got it.
Clip it and clip it and ship it.
And then Crowmaster following up with what Swish had asked. What are we gonna do with all these golem wands? What are we gonna do?
Serious answer is I don't know what the context says. The goofy answer is you don't want to have a purpose for these wands. You think you do, but you don't. Is this one of those out of season April Fool's jokes? It's not even April yet. Don't you guys have phones? I'm deflecting. I don't know what this question means, so I'm just going with it.
Yeah. Who knows? All right. Luciania. Will there be any level minimums for the instanced zones yet? Question mark.
Considering that I haven't placed them yet in the game world, the question is arbitrary. I'd imagine they would require 50, like the epics.
Fair enough. Magellan asking, will Kunark evacs work only from within dungeons at first?
I don't think I'm changing any existing functionality, so if they work this way for other dungeon teleports that are evacs, they'll work the same. There aren't exclusions or specific code paths for evac spells. So I imagine they'll work how they do right now for like Sucker North or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Charlo, are we going to see raid targets like dragons, VS/VSR, etc. in open world outside of Quakes, or are they going to be strictly Quake/instance spawns? What about smaller targets like the Kith Dark Elves, Chardock Royals, or triggered spawns like the General Ixie Ragefire?
The way we're going to handle Quaker instance spawns will be identical to Classic for major raid targets. Kunark releases formally on July 1st. Drusilla, Royals, Dark Elves, etc. will be in their own instances once Kunark releases. It's my intent to have an instance Kithakor or an instance City of missed, ahead of the early access, but I think I'm only gonna get the Kithakor done before that.
Okay.
And then, thanks for reminding me though. I need to actually get that City of Mist done and the Kithakor well, I'm gonna get Kithakor done tomorrow. The other one will be done by Kunark launch. And then there's for other things like, Ixablad or any of the other triggered epic mobs like Broken Golem, they're gonna have their base NPC highly reduced in respawn timer, like the case for open world Ragefire, or we'll boost the item off of the Black Reavers for the Jade Reaver, so on and so forth. Those are the anti-bottlenecks.
Yep. All right. Oh, here's one. How will the fire pot room work?
It'll be bindable by casters indefinitely. We don't really care. I think that it's silly to kind of limit that kind of thing. If we do it for only a turn, that would fly in the face of things like we've changed like Mana Stone or guys that were kept in forever now. Why would we make Firepod or Ring of the Dead? Why would we even care where people bind? Yes, it's a very easy to access, multiple teleport area. Maybe it'll even become a hub for, casters to kind of chill out and talk about caster things before Fadidar, rips them their guts apart.
Puts a stop to that. Yeah. Well, as a frequent flyer of Miracle's Highway, I appreciate leaving those, those travel quality of life aspects, in Quarm. All right. Talon, will there be any updates to existing game mechanics that get launched with Kunark, such as guards immune to charm, barred swarm limit, things that were in place upon classic launch to limit EXP farming? Maybe with so many more zones, those limiters are less required?
To be honest, I wanted to on launch. After evaluating player behaviors and seeing how players kind of respond to things, I don't want to do this. And, I made the Bard on P99. I'd love to AoE kite. I farmed, health and guards and such on my Bard as well as my Beast Lord on TAC P. And, in my opinion, these kind of things devalue the new player experience and ruin the need to group. Why would you sit in a group with a Holy Trinity composition when you could run 5 classes that run a group basically in that same composition, and then one bard cutting, 25 or 50 creatures to the side of them? Any group would instantly be empowered by a bard disproportionately to any other class in the game. Likewise with enchanters, I feel like that just kind of devalues the new player experience. And then I mentioned this earlier, but we had to talk with some of the Dark Ball Games folks. I basically spent 2 hours speaking with them, and we gave them a lot of ideas. One of them that he did recently was, I have a striking suspicion it came from this discussion. It was an AoE cap of 25 on all PB AoEs. We were talking about this for a while between me and Ailia and a couple other of our CSRs, and I mentioned it to them. And then the change on live had mixed reactions, but the game was better off for it. Teak had one of the most successful launches, and they started making additional bottleneck changes, not to just the VP key, but to, like at the Epic, they recently changed Lord Bickergle in the same way I would have changed Lord Bickergle. They had, whether they go to the extremes we do is yet to be seen, but I think the core fundamental game of EverQuest is better when it focuses on individual journeys. That is going to be a much better game for those changes, be it P99, TLP, or Live.
Yep. Well, that was a very thorough answer. So excellent. All right. We did answer this one earlier. Vaithral asking Locket of Escape Legacy item. I believe, if I recall correctly, that was a yes with an asterisk. Yes, probably. Karain, old Kinster out there. It's been implied that triggered epic mobs will only be lootable by the triggerer. Does this extend to all loot that's triggered? Wow, that loot that triggered mobs can drop, or just the drop for their epic? Hopefully you captured some of that.
I did. I think this will be in for launch, but I mentioned recently there's going to be a lot of work to do to make epics personalized. This will be one of those steps. If you turn in something to Broken Golem, only the person who turned it in should be eligible to loot that item when you go to loot the item from the Broken Golem. This is just part of that process, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is something that we've done for other servers like Chainbreaker or Classless. We just have to, kind of make it work properly. Ailia will tell you how terrible this is.
Ailia, any thoughts? Any commentary with that one?
Tell them about how everything broke when we tried to do that.
I mean, a little.
Okay, so I forgot to initialize a variable, right? And we were
Oh.
passing.
Oh,
was
that
that,
one.
wasn't it? Yeah, wasn't that due to the epics?
No, that wasn't the epics that caused that.
It was
something
the
else.
assigning the item to the main looter, wasn't it? I swear this is like the 7th time I've talked about this, and each time I keep remembering it. But the point is,
you assigned the looter as null due to a Lua 2C conversion error.
That'll get you every time.
right.
Mhm.
So weird, fun things happened.
Yep, that's what it sounds like. All right, Ziglax asking the question: would it be possible to have a class breakdown at the end of Classic before everyone goes lizarding? I saw something posted on the Level Up Discord that had a pretty comprehensive breakdown. So I'm wondering if that was recent. Has that been released already? And if not, then will we see that?
I think I pinned it in the general chat.
Ah,
if you
that's where it
wanna
was from.
Take a
Yeah,
look
okay.
at it.
Yeah.
Here. Can you share that on stream? Is that possible to do? Do you have that set up to do?
Yes, but seeing as I haven't really streamed in like a month, I am very terrible at doing things.
That's
quickly,
perfectly fine.
but
Don't
I'm
do
gonna try
it,
to.
especially. Oh, you're gonna try to. Okay.
But yes.
Basically, this boils down to what was the top rate in terms of? I think Magician ended up at the top at 2,646 characters that were magicians above level 9.
All right, here. So
Here you go.
lost camera
Take
for
a
a
look at
second,
this.
but yeah, we can take a look at this. Yep. So take a look at the spread. Like there's already like clear speculation that the reason why monks is the second most popular class, or excuse me, the second least popular class, that we're gonna see this number surge significantly starting tomorrow. And I'm gonna be contributing to that.
Can you do this actually for the 50s as well? I did dump that information.
Are you
Characters greater than or equal to 50, I believe, or at above 49, basically.
You have
These are all the characters above 49. I have this for you.
Oh, okay. Oh.
This is this is all of the level 50s.
Okay, going back to it. Oh, psych, just joking. Going back to it. What button? One of these buttons do something. There you go.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. So these are sorry, say it again. These are classes above level 50 and above?
Yeah, these are 50 and above because GM characters can sometimes be 80. They're not excluded. But there's only like 5 of them anyway. Yeah, look at that. Magician is obviously the most popular at 501.
Yeah.
Enchanter has 430, which is surprising to me actually that Enchanter has 430. 346 Necromancers. You'll see that Druid has 356. A lot of people made Druids, but very few actually hit the max level.
Yeah.
Enchanter is a surprisingly high number, but Enchanters are one of the most self-sufficient. Cleric being as high as it is also, I think, is that Cleric at 394. There are people that, if you also notice, that Warrior number is very, very low.
It is.
That's good. That means there's only 160, Furious or defensive disc tanks out there for when they get up to the Kunark stuff and they start hitting 55, right? So that should be interesting.
Yeah.
And Paladins, there are less Paladins than anything else.
Than
The
rogues.
monk numbers are also surprising.
Yeah.
There are more max level rogues than monks at this point. Monk is one of the least popular classes to actually play to max level. They get created a lot. You know why that is, though? The legacy of Vic hasn't, exactly. Hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
there are people waiting. Same with Necromancer. There's a lot of people just waiting to make their Necro until this update, right?
Yeah, you're going to see a surge in Shaman Necromancers. I mean, probably across the board for Iksar classes.
Wizard, too, when you get lures, right? Wizards are super powerful.
Yeah.
So this is going to be some fun to actually analyze and see in a couple, when we do this again in about 8 or 9 months, this should be fun.
Yes, I'm looking forward to an update. Ailia, you're going to say something?
Still no saving those Paladin numbers, though.
No, Paladins are
there's probably
abysmal to Luclin. So, exactly. Let's continue on with the AMA a little bit, though.
All right, we are. I said we were half earlier. We're about a fourth to go now. We're getting there.
We're getting there. We'll do it, and then we'll take our quick break, and then we'll go to the user questions.
Perfect. All right. Our class. So Vathral, I think there's another question. Yeah, okay, that was like 3 questions ago. There's another one by the same person. Vathral asking the question: Are classes generally set in stone for a while, or are there balance tweaks you're planning to make going into Kunark?
Sometime after Kunark, we might have them inadvertently be affected by TAC-P or Torvin making changes to things when we catch up to the like the code database request changes, but generally they're set in stone. We're not making changes to those.
Okay. Super Brian asking the question: Are you going to introduce any new class options to Iksars under the guise of helping group composition on Kunark the first month, and why will it be bards? Question mark. You elaborated on this a bit earlier, but yeah.
But you know why Iksars don't make great bards?
Oh, why is that?
Because it's all scales.
Dang! Wow! Y'all thought you were showing up for a Q&A. You're here for a comedy show. Look at this, featuring secrets.
Oh, we haven't even got to Iksar Comedy Hour yet.
Oh, we haven't. Oh, we're getting there though, aren't we? Okay.
We're getting there, actually. Be one of the last questions we get to, but yeah.
All right. Can you roll the dragon hit point buff in after the June preview and see if we can down pre-buffed versions by July 1st?
We're not actually doing that after all. We may, however, add a challenge motive version of VP for cosmetic or novelty items in the future. Good hunting in the meantime, though, Scaly Skins. I want to see some Gornair and some Velious. I want to see all these creatures dead.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, Sunk. Oh, this one. Okay, small text here. Do you know what you're going to do for Terrassus respawn times yet? Half the battle in that place is getting to the camp and holding it down. You almost you get the yeah. What are you going to do about Terrassus respawn timers, aka Howling Stones? I mean,
we're going to keep the original respawn. That sounds hellish. As for keys, they're part of the crawl. That will stay in. We want to make sure people have a proper dungeon crawl experience to each of the wings.
Yes, so. I agree. Feed Me asking the question: Will there be alterations to charmable mobs to make them not charmable, like Kedge? Mobs in Kedge, I guess we're...
Yes, especially in cases where people use charm as a mechanism to grief others. We have seen this. This is a flagrant harassment and griefing violation. Ailia will hammer you. Keenan, Adelar will, go in there. They will hammer you. They will make sure that you don't do that again. I will, if I have to personally make sure you're not doing that again, you're in trouble. So, Indeed. Mom will punish you. It's fine, Indeed. And not in that other way.
Yeah, not in that way. Yeah.
Not in that way. So.
Dolath asking the question: Will the sleeper mechanism be reworked to be progress based, allowing players to fully enjoy each stage before advancing? I made 2 questions out of 1 sentence. Was in a server where seasoned players triggered the sleeper early before most players were ready for the VP stage.
Mm-hmm. First, this is a Kunark AMA. This was asked about a Velious content, but I'll address it directly.
Okay.
Our plan is to, allow people to enter which version of Sleeper Students they want to enter. Tomb will not change depending on the Sleeper's awakening. Dressel's Row magic prevents the Sleeper from awakening fully and staying awake. If Dressel were to meet her untimely demise at the end of time, however, maybe you can make some permanent changes there.
Okay. Charlo asking the question: Are we going to see cultural crafting woos or any new crafting recipes with Kunark dropping? Will the Kunark trade skill changes be in game June 1st, like ability to make forged javelins and other era locked recipes?
Any trade skill recipes in the database, it's open source. Go look at it. That were previously Kunark locked will now be accessible during the early access period for the 2.0 period, such as forged javelins. Field abode potions will not allow entrance to Kunark until Kunark is officially out for people that are in the old world. However, they will remove you from Kunark zones if you are an Iksar. So if you use it as an Iksar, you'd probably use it. Good luck getting your alchemy skill in the access period, though. All the way up.
Yeah, it's going to be a little tricky.
It's rough.
Yeah.
But possible.
It's possible, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Speaking from experience, it's giving me PTSD. All right. Slow Sin. With auto fire being in the game, super useful for rangers. Can the rest of the classes get auto skill? This is a great quality of life feature and needed for older players like me, and me as well, that encounter pain repeatedly pressing buttons over a length of time.
I see the argument here, but as a warrior, you click kick, and maybe a couple. Is this any different than hitting
Yeah.
tab target once in a while? I'm
Mm,
opposed to it personally.
yeah.
Kicking at opportune times as a high level warrior also has a skill factor associated with it. I think making people do this manually might make them a better player. And there's benefits to kick, bash and slam more than just pressing it off cooldown. This is just a slippery slope to full on. We don't want to go down the road of fighting zeal or what people would do with different products. We don't want to fight that fight if we can avoid it. Obviously, people are going to try that. We're going to stomp them on the observational level and the analytical level, but I don't want to have to fight that fight. And I think we set what the spirit of the game should be. So hopefully people are respectful, and we're not doing that. No.
Seems clear to me. Bufolio asking, are you considering allowing players to polish their rocks, adding a cast time to the mana stone / mana rock for use in Kunark zones and beyond?
Sorry, polish their what?
Oh my.
We have the mana robe item for this. No rock polishing, please. Save that for rule 5.2. It's a novelty classic item. You're about to see why we're fine keeping the item in past classic forever. We don't anticipate it to hurt the game.
Nice. Howling Mad. There are rumblings of limitation of multi-quest turn-ins specific to Epic. Is there an official answer to this? Is it limited to Epics or does it extend to everything? Touched on this earlier.
This extends to major personal quests like Epics, Access Quest, Ring of Dane Frostweaver, every single turn-in and Coldane Prayer Scroll, Hearing of the Solstice, etc. Anything that can be considered personal journeys should be affected by this. We're going to be the benevolent dictators that decide the line on what should actually be there. This is why I never write my design down. It'll be drawn in odd ways, and that's kind of by intent, because I do want to draw the line personally and not have to fight people on where the line is. We've done that with rules. That doesn't work. So going forward, that's kind of the intention. Personal journey for long personal quests. By the way, we know this might be moving towards loot rights and selling to players items instead of obtaining the items yourself. But that still requires player-to-player personalized interaction and doesn't really, allow for long-term farming. The stockpile of items will eventually dry up in guilds from all this multi-questable stuff once we make it no trade. I think that's the primary difference between that and multi-questing. You still have to go out, loot the item, pay another player for the item, or loot the item during a raid night. Then you're locked out and you can't do it on that character. That will actually improve the experience and the personal journey as you're trying to get your epic completed. That makes it very personal.
Absolutely. 6 questions to go of the pre-submitted questions. Good to knock them out?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Selene.
Isn't there... Wait, 1 second.
Sure.
Didn't we get the... Oh, wait. Are we doing the pre-submitted questions, or...
Yep, we have 6 more of those.
Sorry. My brain was like, wait, we're moving on to the lightning rounds? I thought we were taking...
Oh, no. Yeah.
Let's get through this. Let's get through this.
Yeah. No, you're good. Looking at the database updates on pdqi.cc, I see that Eye of Innerrook has a 50% instance chance of 1 drop per kill. Can this be increased as it was a huge problem for all necromancers getting their epic weapon? Can Slime Blood of Khazak Thul be increased?
To begin with, this is a custom change that'd be that high of a drop rate. Normally they share with the other tables. And the percentage of 50% drop rate on its own table is intentional. We want people to have a reason to go back and complete all of EverQuest soldier content. The epics are a good chase item to help your friends complete their epics. That's why we're also doing it as a personal journey. You can embark with your friend. That kind of makes it so it's a more, we want people to play this like they would a Dungeons and Dragons tabletop campaign. Hopefully with a little less, people trying to roll a d20 to do silly things,
Indeed.
Part of that's kind of the fun of D&D too, though.
Fair.
Oh no, this one.
Oh boy. All right. Viscerin. Oh, P99's very own. Viscerin asking the question, during the Kunark AMA, which we're doing right now, in secrets, I'm gonna put this one's in your court. Can you tell us any Iksar related jokes to keep it lively? Because it's already been very lively, but a few Iksar jokes that might really make it real lively.
What's an Iksar's favorite sport?
I got nothing. just do crickets.
Yes.
That was amazing. Crickets. Jeez.
I used the soundboard, yes.
You know, it's funny.
I had this all planned.
Jeez. You think I would have been prepared for that? I really wasn't prepared for that. That was amazing. That was absolutely incredible.
But I'm learning from the best here, okay? I have to have soundboards for stuff like this, okay? Like,
oh man, that certainly can't be the only one you have. You get it.
no, I got more. Let's go.
Oh my
Why
gosh.
do Iksars avoid fast food? Because they can't catch it. At least that's without a shaman to buff them first. So
Yeah, I was gonna say they must have a shaman in the group, but
how do you make an Iksar laugh at a campfire?
Mm.
Tell it a tall tale.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
We're going through the list. I wrote a bunch of these down for this. So here we go.
one more for the road. One more for the road.
One for the road. Where do Iksars go that have lost their tail?
Oh gosh, where?
The retail shop.
The retail shop, of course. Oh goodness, that was a layup.
I hope y'all have enjoyed these Iksar puns and that they haven't been too slimy for you.
You see here, this is all just we said it was a Q&A, but we were all just trying to set up the comedy.
We'll have to
Kunark
scale
comedy.
back the jokes a little bit. Sorry about that.
I hate to say it, but I think you kind of crashed the rating scale.
Oh, no.
Jeez.
All right. Rosham asking the question, I'd appreciate learning a bit more about the vision or goals, speaking of rating, for the rating scene for this server.
We're always evolving something new here. Not everything's going to be great. We can quickly recognize, as we did with the HP pool chain, that some changes will be massively unpopular or not. When we experiment outside of that box, we want to make sure that we don't impact the progression of the rest of the game. Adding temporary time-limited item rewards to the game will ensure that we can, experiment, reward players, and not have the core fundamental balance broken. So that's the direction we'll head toward. We still want to do Bloodied Rivervale, Bloodied Kithakor, and now this new Vishon's Peak Hard Zone. But we still need to make sure in a way that's both respectful of the source material and innovative enough that people want to challenge themselves for the rewards. That's a tricky balance to have. But that we also want to make sure that players are in instances for, setting the time of the day. I want to make sure that players have their time respected during all parts of the game. That is super important.
Yeah.
And if you can't set that boundary between this being a game that is supposed to be fun and your real life, that's a problem. And that's why PQ was made. I wanted to make a game that would be respectful to me as an adult human being. And I'm 32. I have a family. I have 2 fuzz kids. I have things to do. I'm between jobs right now. We'll get to that later. But yeah, the whole premise of this is just to open the door to new ideas. We are not going to stop evolving, but we also want to make sure the game feels and plays like it.
Yep. I'm a big fanboy of the mission and vision of Quarm, but y'all already knew that. All right. Meat asking, will VP Dragon AoE... Wait a minute. Yeah. Will VP Dragon AoE be LOSable, and can we extend the leashing on VP Dragons to just pass the first bridge, right? Goodness gracious, Larry. First bridge right before the first ramp up from zone line? This is a very specific question, and I'm fumbling.
Yeah, so we were going to do leashing, which is what this is about.
Okay.
We're not going to be doing that. It'll be the same as it is on the Alcabra project. So if it worked there, it'll work here. If you want to practice specific range strats or figure out if something works ahead of time, the entire game is open source. You can go to GitHub right now, download the entire source code to Project Quarm, which is free, open source, and clean room engineered, reverse engineered from the, years and years and that EverQuest emulator has been out there. Feel free to check out if your specific strategy works for yourself and your guild. You can do that. You could go to the park and just take the ducks. The ducks at the parks are free.
Free.
You can just take them.
Just take them. There you go. All right, 2 more to go. And then we'll take a 5-minute intermission break. And then we will start answering the questions that all of you out there have submitted over the last. How long have we been going at this? Is it 2 hours? How about that?
2
Time
hours,
flies.
yeah.
Time
I
flies when you're
definitely have to use the restroom, so we'll get through
Okay, let's get through it quick. Grimlock asking the
Okay.
question: will the spawn rate for lizard broodlings from golems in Plane of Fear be 100% or only a percentage chance? Thanks.
I believe the chance is unmodified, but we have instances either way. If it was unmodified, there's not going to be an issue getting.
Okay, perfect. Hello there. Ask the question, the final question for the pre-submitted ones. Will there be an increase in wizard mana regen to counteract the higher raid mob health pools?
No, the HP pulls have only been slightly increased now, while regen removed from all of the VP creatures. VP has a boost from 32,000 to 38,000. Fordor is a little bit more, a little bit like I think 4,000 more at 42,000, but it's not much higher. There's not going to be any increased amount of regen, and we don't expect people to have to do that. At most, you might get 1 or 2 AoEs off before the mob dies instead of just 1. The raid will be fine. You will be okay.
The raid will be.
You'll be able
fine.
to do VP.
That's
You'll
right.
be fine.
Okay, and I want you to be fine. So go ahead and head off to the restroom for the break, and then we will reconvene here in about 5 minutes. I need to go assess some things with the family myself here, yeah. So more to come. I don't have an actual count, but I see quite a few questions that y'all have submitted over the last 2 hours, and so want to make sure that if we can get through those. So I will go assess my situation, and we will continue here very shortly in about 5 minutes. So grab yourself a beverage, some food, whatever you'd like, and be back here soon. Muted. Okay. Hey, we are going to get right back into this. Thank you for your patience. More questions to come. I will say that I am going to turn the question queue off. So hopefully all of you who had a question got it submitted in time. So if you haven't, then you might want to do it pretty quickly, because it's about to happen here soon. But hey, just real quick side note, and a very important one. I just want to thank each and every one of you for being out here for this event. I know that Secrets and Ailia can't hear me, but I'm very, very grateful, and I will make sure to emphasize this, soon. Very, very grateful for them being here, and very, very grateful for y'all being here. So hopefully you've learned a thing or two about what's coming up for Kunark, and so more to come here shortly. Let me disable this question queue, and let me unmute Discord here real fast. Actually, here, let me hold on. Let me do a couple things real fast. Bear with me, but we will get back to it for sure. Okay, good there. You'd think that turning off a question queue would be like a 10-second thing, but here we are. All right. Hi. Sorry, I was.
Hey.
As I'm sure you noticed, I was having a little side conversation, with chat, just thanking them for being here.
Yeah, I was
thanking y'all for
unmuted. You
being
said I
here.
couldn't hear you, but I could hear you all along.
But yes, I'm
So-
turning off the question queue, so we'll get through all these if it's possible on your side, and then
All of them? I got another hour. Let's go.
okay, then that's what, that works even better, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not pressed for time anymore. I'm between jobs. We'll go over that at the end.
all right, fantastic. Once I can get my life together with this turning off the question queue, that would be fantastic. But okay, whatever. I see.
We'll get our shit, our stuff together. No,
Yes,
we'll be there.
We will be just fine. All right, let me switch scenes here. Okay. All right, bringing it back. All right. So, let's continue on. So I imagine that we're going to see some duplicate questions here. We've answered a lot. By we, I mean you. And so, just if there is a duplicate, I'd say, we can skip it or just quick answer. You know the drill. So, I may not catch them all is what I'm trying to get at. So, okay. And then I also kind of have to filter these, because some of these questions aren't really questions. So there's that dynamic. But Nuker does say more thought destroyers, please. So
Thought destroyers. Damn. Okay. Well, we forgot about that one too.
Yep. So be mindful of that. Swish asking the question: will there be PvP quakes during Kunark? We did answer that, so I will skip that.
Yep.
It's a maybe. Level Up Lizard stream at launch. Yes, Ailia, there will be a Level Up Lizard stream happening at basically right at 2 p.m. Central Time, and so I'll be doing a little mini marathon for a couple of hours, and we may have some fun things going on for that. But yes, we'll be supporting the cause to the best of my ability by rolling my hardcore self-found monk is what it's looking like. So more to come there. All right. Welt Mocked asking, is Quarm going to fix the spelling mistake and change race to name to Iskar? Wait, what? Change the race name to Iskars. What is that? Is it
What? No.
What?
Iskar?
What's Iskar?
What?
Huh?
Who?
Okay. I don't know. I don't know about that.
I don't even know. But no. No.
Okay, this is kind of a, you can answer this how you will. Do you think Iksar Warrior is better than Barbarian Warrior? Yes or no?
It's hard to say. At endgame, yes. Iksar Warrior outperforms Barbarian Warrior in every aspect, except for like maybe strength and step. And at that point, by Planes of Power, they are about even.
Yeah. All
Just
right.
play ogre.
Play it
Play an
ogre.
Let's
I
play an
mean,
ogre, right?
like for FSI is just extremely powerful. You could also play an XR for the extra mitigation. I imagine our AOW kills will probably be tanked by a bunch of Iksars if we end up doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Iksars, look, you look like a lizard. That's the biggest.
That's the most important thing. I mean, yeah,
Really.
it really is. All right, looks like LTS Gray asks a question. Looks like Rarzar is still set to 2% spawn chance in Wrath Mountains for SK Epic. Will this be adjusted higher or a static spawn?
Please post that in the thread. We're going to do that for a lot of these individual specific questions.
Okay.
But yeah, we're going to be definitely boosting stuff like that. Just if there's epics that have had things, I posted the thread earlier. I can link it again. It's in Discord. This thread needs to just basically have all those. I'm not going to remember to write that down, so please post that on. We'll definitely take a look at it during the Iksar early access period. We want to make sure we get all those in time for Kunark to launch proper.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Moving on here. Will the Hand of Maestro drop be increased to 100% from Metamise?
The what ratio?
The Hand of Maestro. Will that drop be increased to 100%?
Again, this is going to be, it's 50% right, isn't it?
50% right.
If it's not fit, no, we're not changing that. Those were intentionally added like that. Cool.
All right. We answered this earlier. How will binding in Firepot room be handled? Nothing will change. Casters can bind. It'll be there indefinitely. Good to go. Cash in your soul. Are we going to get mounts? Well, not for Kunark, but
no. But we've had. Let me just think about it. You know, that one mount that was temporary. Temporary mounts aren't off the table. Remember,
yeah,
we did that for the Halloween event. So, please, actually, I was looking around. I heard some. So sorry.
Yeah.
No, we might have more events with mount. Just temporary ones for even 7 or 10 days. You know.
Of course, you know you have to enable all the Luclin models, or is it just the mount models?
You should be able to do it without. You should be able to do it without. I would also permit Zeal's author to kind of allow mounts to function without the actual model. If people don't really want to deal with what was it, tank physics from Tenorus on mounts, then they shouldn't have to, at least in my opinion.
Okay. Cool.
Bonus points to the few Tenorus players in chat that will understand that reference.
That's not me, but that sounds cool. Shieldbane asking, can you increase the spawn rate for the mob that drops an Iron Leash collar? I've seen it once in game ever, and it seems impossible. What does the database say about that, I wonder?
Ooh, so we did keep if this is not used for any single creature, like if it's not used for a major quest, we have chase items, right? We're not getting rid of chase items. If this becomes a problem, we'll probably adjust it in some way. Just drop off of multiple creatures, not just one. But generally, look at South Carolina right now. There's only I queried a month or two ago. There's only a couple of Ring of Shadows on the server, 93 of them. There are still chase items out there. You have to go explore the world to get them. Like there's the shrunken goblin skull earring. You have to kill a bunch of goblins, get Granchus to spawn, and then you kill Granchus. That's going to be functionally like the Quillmain camp. Same with Kazugi ring. There's going to be different things that actually happen in the game world that you can go out and search for these items, and that's kind of the glory of EverQuest, right? You don't
100%.
have to just stick to the main Mistmore to Soleil to Lower Guck to Sebelis to Charduk to max level pipeline. There are things you can go off the beaten path and find cool items, and then once you're done with them, you can give them to your friends if you have any by that point.
Yeah.
Because friends don't let friends bring each other to down here.
No. That's. I need to make a shirt. All right. Let's see here. Shiv asking the question: will skippable steps of epics be addressed? For example, 95% of Shaman epic, a decent step of Rogue epic. So yeah, we've
already addressed this. Yeah,
yeah.
You can pretty much skip any of the Rogue epic or epic questions.
Yeah, for sure.
People know what we're doing.
This was answered earlier by Lone Wolf, or excuse me, by us. Lone Wolf asking the question about City of Mist instancing. That will be something for July 1st launch. Multi-quest grace period until July 1st or August 1st. Not a thing at all. Correct?
Correct. There's not going to be no multi-quest things for epics or anything like that.
Alrighty.
No Perfect. Access quest, multi-quest or anything.
I don't know how transparent you want to be. I know that I know you've been very transparent about the server operations and all that good stuff. So if this is something you're willing to talk about, then please, by all means. If not, then don't. How much does it cost to run Quarm per month?
Right now, we have an anonymous person that's paying the cost of the server. They are anonymous because they are in a position where their identity being known would hurt whatever they're working on currently.
Sure.
They pay $189 and we do not pay them. They do it out of the kindness of their heart. So that's how much it costs. And I mean, that's not a lot of money, right? I've been talking to, in industry, I bring up cost cutting and, so on and so forth at previous companies in a lot of interviews lately. And now I'm talking on Twitch about it. Might as well mention that is a absurdly low amount of money to spend on a server when you look at the price of an EC2 instance, or if you look at AWS or Microsoft Azure or something like that. Yeah. You're like, how are you paying that little money? It's called doing the same thing we did as dumb kids in 2008. We did VPSs, we did small companies with dedicated servers, we did, co-location. We got away with doing less by making program work effectively and efficient. So that is something I'd say a lot. This is something the games industry can learn from, right? They are extremely wasteful on resources. Throwing money at things may not always work. Sometimes writing better code works.
There you go. Safer in Dreams asking, will Illusion Iksar work like Classic? So I guess that wouldn't really, we wouldn't know that until July 1st, but I anticipate it would work as intended.
Was this Illusion Iksar work like in Classic?
Yeah. Yes.
It would work like it does on TACP. I actually haven't used the spell. I guess you could find out, but
I mean, was there any nuance that I'm missing or that I didn't know about?
It's an illusion. You become the base race. The base race's faction gets applied. Like
it used to give regen, and then they got rid of it.
Oh, then it's gonna work like whatever's in the spell data currently. If you look at the client file and you look at the spell data, it works like that.
I
actually don't know. Let me look. You can look at TAC Project spell data.
Yeah. I'd love to know.
Let me take a look.
Okay, take a little look.
Illusion.
Iskar.
Take a look at the Iskar. Iskar. No, it is just an illusion. There's no regen.
No regen. All right. Sorry
about that. I'm not really changing that because I'm going to keep it consistent in the timeline. But
yeah, for sure. Will Eldarian asking, will Warriors receive any changes to help address their threat issues?
No. I mean, that's part of the problem of playing a warrior. That's always been a problem with playing warrior in EverQuest. The best way to do this: get proc weapons, use them, use clicky weapons like Midnight Mallet, and there's a bunch of other different items you can just kind of use for instant threat over time. The important part is finding weapons that have high threat value and just using them. Especially when mobs start having higher HP pulls, the percentage of aggro you get from like higher HP pull mobs is going to be much easier to pull aggro off of your entire raid too. So this becomes actually a diminuted issue as time goes on. So
yeah, just got to get the loots. Speaking of loots, not really a curveball since all these are off the script. But what was that sword that had a chance of dropping off of frogs in Celis? Something, the black sword or whatever that was.
Of the Blackest Night or whatever, that's not in right now. I have to really evaluate if we're going to be putting those in.
Okay, Blade of the Black Dragon Eye.
Blade of the Black Dragon Eye or whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that's in. I don't think we're going to be putting that in. A lot of those removes items, especially some of them that are extremely powerful, we won't be doing. So.
Got it.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right. This one actually not related to Kunark, but I'll ask it and then I'll add a little bit more Kunark theme to it.
So real quick, just to address something in chat before we go on from the aggro stuff.
Feel free.
I know the proc cap exists, but there's certain spell effects that are also, present. You can still use clicks. There are caps to those clicks, but I don't think warriors are ever going to have. Also, that cap existed in Classic. That was modeled. Warriors will have a rough time. Haunt still exists just to, snap aggro a little bit, and then you have to kind of rely on procs past that point. We're very well aware that there's an aggro cap. I will say that, hard casting things with a paladin or a shadow knight are much easier, but the kind of counterance to that is that if you do hold aggro on a warrior, you do have defensive discipline. Everyone else has to manage their aggro. They might have to stop DPSing if they're on the top of the threat list, if they've nuked the thing to death, right? These are different considerations you and your raid will have to make.
All about adapting. All right. Excuse me. So the question from Intermediate Frequency is, can we please get the drill craft for solo self-found hardcore added to Erudin? I thought it was in there, but I was going to ask is I'd add on to that question in case I don't know if you know the answer to that one off the bat, but what does that look like for Kunark? I know that we had Fuzzhead who dedicated some time to building those. I don't know how easy or difficult it is to replicate those for Kunark. What does that look like as well?
Mainly for all the solo self-found hardcore jewel crafting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be, I have to find a slice of free time to do that, and we'll worry about it then.
Yeah.
I will also say one more thing on this aggro thing. Yes, the cap came in at the end of Velious, but a lot of the mechanics, we can go back and kind of remove those things if people think they're going to be a better experience. I'm not opposed to, removing things like that. We've changed the AC formula to not include soft caps, for example. These are things we still can. So please, Warriors, don't give up hope that I would say no forever. I just want to make sure it's implemented right. And if you can present, if you or Torvin or whoever, especially if Torvin presents it, I'll put it in. So make a thread, tag Torvin. He's going to hate me for saying that, but yeah.
Oh boy.
Sorry. Let's continue on with questions.
All right.
Don't never say never here. So
all right.
I will have my mind changed in like 3 seconds though.
Would you ever consider early release of Wizard Familiars?
Would I ever consider Wizard early familiars?
Early release of them, yeah.
We did consider putting in Breeze early. These are things we could look into, but for a lot of the class-defining stuff in Luclin, I don't think we're going to be doing the, Luclin spells too early. Some of them are just going to have to be bought in Shadowhaven. Maybe in some of the challenge zones. That's kind of what I wanted the challenge zones, right? So
yeah. All right. Seeing some questions that we've already answered, so I'm just going to actually skip those. There's one for the fungi tunic or fungi, depending how you want to pronounce it. And so that's going to have a chance of dropping off of all fungi. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's going to have a chance of dropping off of all the trash funguses.
Okay.
Fungi's.
Yeah.
Funguses, or whatever.
Funguses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, more wizard or warrior stuff. Buying pots. Will Leatherfoot Skullcap work in Kunark? Does it not?
Leather
Does
skull
it
cap
not?
working in Kunark. You mean the hard leather skull cap or
I'm assuming the WC cap, but I
the
mean that may be
WC
it.
cap?
Yeah.
I mean, why would that one not work, right?
Right. I mean, yeah. Has it ever not worked? Maybe
Have I,
maybe I don't know.
yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't
So
know.
yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Elvin Fail asking the question: Will Necro 50 plus Lich spells, Demi Lich and Arc Lich work as they do on Planes of Power, or as they did earlier? I feel like we've talked about this spell, but
I think we did too. Which
okay,
one specifically? Oh, Debbie Lich and Arch
Demi
Lich.
Lich, yeah,
Yeah, they work as they do in Planes of Power. Yeah.
yeah. All right. I selfishly will take this one. Will I be doing an Iksar only guild? TBD. So here, tell you what. So how will guilds and guild invites and having an officer on Kunark? How will that work starting tomorrow?
I think that right now we have a list of guilds that have prepaid for
Hmm.
different guild leaders to be associated. If you haven't done it yet, you're going to be in a waiting.
Okay.
Basically, XR guild leaders will exist for existing guilds. For example, Mayhem has one that will lead. They're basically different. As you make your characters and you have the names available, you let us know in those tickets that you've created. I think right now
Hmm.
Europa, Former Glory, Tranquility, Hardened Casuals, Seeker of Souls, Project Faceless, Squirrels of War, Wolfpack, Intervention, Mayhem, and Arrows Crossing Guard
Dang.
have all paid and are going to be there in the Kunark Madness on their
What?
Iksars.
Okay, so
So
first of all, this sounds very clearly like it was a memo that I missed, and that is my bad. Second,
that's because you don't
wow,
play on Project Quarm right now. You took a hiatus, and I
I
wish you would
did.
come back. And you are, Larry. Let me
Son
tell
of
you
a
this:
gun.
I'm getting you a second guild. Do you know what that guild's going to be?
Oh, please do tell.
It's going to be Legacy of Vic.
Son of a gun. This is glorious. Okay. All
You
right.
you're getting a free XR pass right now. You are
This is
going to not
glorious.
have to pay for that. Your
You
guild
see?
has been instrumental. You are the inspiration for this idea beyond the
Oh
Reddit post. Agreed to this because I was like, Larry did this.
my
This is
dang.
cool. This is content right here. So you're
Look,
getting your Legacy of Fit guild.
you
So
can't see me, or maybe you can. I'm blushing right now, and you can't even tell even if you can see me. But
I can see you. I'm watching it on stream. You're
that
watching it on.
is some news right there. Legacy of It Quorum Edition happening, y'all. Be ready. So yes, to answer the question, Wayback Machine, Legacy of Ick is happening, and it's happening as soon as tomorrow or some point in the next week or two or three. It's gonna happen at some
It's
point.
going to happen tomorrow. I'm going to make sure it's one of the first things I do when the servers come up. No,
All right.
this is me showing appreciation for
Hey,
your idea. And
no, hey,
I love
I
Speaking of
appreciate
tomorrow and guilds and stuff, just a reminder, all
you. Yeah.
the elective service fees will be doubled as soon as the server comes back up.
Double the elective fees are doubling. Be mindful, friends. Be mindful. All right, that's awesome. All right, I'm just lit up right now, in a good way. Okay, so oh, let's see. Oh, okay. Well, this is a good question. What are your expectations around the server stability tomorrow? I recall initial Quorum launch being a pretty smooth experience overall.
I've
what do you
got no
anticipate?
idea. I'm so
Yeah,
scared.
we'll see.
I'm very scared. I know this could go one of two ways, and the way it's probably going to go is going to be terrible.
Hmm.
I'll be streaming in the event that things go down. I will be streaming during the downtime. I'm going to make
Nice.
sure that we have the ability and capacity to support this server on and launch. I'm going to make sure that we got to about 2,500 people online, right, when the
Yeah.
server first launched, and then things died out due to a haywire query. I'm going to be monitoring things. I can't guarantee the server will stay stable. If it doesn't stay stable, I'm very sorry. I
No. Yeah.
There's only so much I can do. We've made mitigations, we've made efforts in that direction, but I can't guarantee that the server is going to be bulletproof. I know one of the things we're doing is putting the anti AoE code up to max when there's more than like 25 people in the zone, please don't expect like Disease Cloud to work when we first have all these Iksars coming out of the gates. I'm going to be disabling like PvAOEs and things that, iterate through too many creatures. I don't trust our server to be able to handle that. We need to do some optimization there, some algorithmic stuff to increase the performance. So please understand that if things like that start happening, you might only hit one creature and then it would just early out. So
yeah.
we have backups and disaster recovery tested. That's been in place. That is currently happening daily, twice daily. We've been backing up player data twice daily. We don't back up the database data included in that anymore. That happens, when we do the database dumps, or periodically when they make major changes. I might just do a dump just because I need to. There might be something major we're changing that when we deploy it needs to be backed up so we can go back to it. So yes, we do have all of those contingency plans in place. And then there's the other element of what if something happens that's beyond our control. We'll just play it by ear.
Yeah.
We'll just see how it goes. I mean, there's also the possibility that, we could have malicious things happening during the day. And realistically, I'm not going to lose sleep over it, but I am going to make sure the server stays online. So,
well, look, if we don't have at least one server crash, then my immersion's just not going to be at full capacity.
I feel like that's part of launches at this point. The fact that I'm going to give props to Dark Ball Game. They handled that Teak launch gracefully. They had over 5,000 people the first day, and the queues were lines like hours and hours long. Then they took, I guess, what would be Tormax's capacity and put it towards Teak, and now there's over 8,000 people playing on Teak, and that's going to continue to kind of stay stable. It's incredible. I really like what they've been able to do. We need to get there.
Absolutely, and
we're not doing queues, which is also kind of crazy, right? So
that's true. For the record, I've been very bad at checking chat, but I want to just make sure for the record that that question was from General Tongue Sweat. So just making that name. Yeah, that's it. All right. We answered this earlier, so I will answer it for us. Unforgiven asking, will Kunark keys be keyring like Sky? Answers yes to that. Gorb Kyle asking, will Crusader's Coffin remain in the game? And if it is, will it be rechargeable? Which I guess it has a summon Golan. I'm not familiar with this item.
I don't remember what this. I'm not familiar with this either. I don't know. If it's in there in TACB's DB, it'll be in this, and it's the original form. Yeah. That it's currently in the TACB DB for Planes of Power. So
okay.
No idea. I don't know what that is.
This question for Ailia. Can MCP Live throw a rave on the top of the top floor of Kern's tower?
I don't know. How big of a bribe can you afford?
There you go. All right, McPlive. I hope you got deep pockets and a fat wallet, because it's gonna cost some
100K, and I'll set up a scripted rave.
Okay, let's pull it together.
Tower.
Let's pull. How are we gonna pull it together?
100K platinum, and then we pull it all together. If we can get, actually no, 500K, because I want PKO 500K. Basically fund the 500K between all of the plat on the server. If we could do that, I will script and implement a rave at the top, just a zone-wide rave, really, right? You can do it at the top floor if you want, but it will change the zone fog to different colors on specific intervals, and we will keep this for 24 hours. If some players can cough together 500K, okay?
All right.
Kickstarter. There we go.
Kickstarter's official. All right. And I just funnel all your, well, no, let me not go that route, because I might actually get my character banned before I even make my Iksars.
Only scales. Oh, God.
Only scales. Yeah, we have onlyscales.cab in full effect. So that's a story for another day. All right. Let's see. Vexar. Okay, this is Chad. I'm probably not seeing this name right. Chad. Asking the question, Vexar is listed on the DB. Oh, yeah, Vexar. Is it technically LVON zone? Are we getting that dungeon with Iksar Early Access? So no Vexar.
We're not getting Vexar.
And probably not going to see that at all.
But in the post Planes of Power area, there is an opportunity zone like Vexar.
Oh.
Actually, people didn't know this, but I loaded Gumthak into the game client randomly because I thought, wouldn't this be cool if we just did that? So that's a possibility. We could, loaded Ukwa from Gates of Discord. That worked fine. There is the possibility of later zones. And I specifically asked Rogan what would be appropriate to distribute. He said S3D files are something we can distribute. We just can't distribute the client binary per the P99 agreement. So
okay.
Assets are on game, binaries are not. Weirdly enough. So
Interesting. Okay. Got it. All right. So Enderpars asking, will Celos and J-Boots or Spirit of Wolf be recoded to stack with each other?
No. It's going to be the same TAC P rules. If they change it, we'll change it. As far as I know, Solar had spent a lot of work on that, though. So,
okay. Let's see. Epic question. Sure, let's take it. Flavor Beast asking, on P99, it's possible for some classes to skip mini epic quest steps by grinding faction. Will this be possible on Quarm?
By grinding faction for the epic? You mean like the shaman epic?
Shaman one.
I think we're gonna have that in, but I think we eventually want to have people do it the proper way and not skip step. Probably involve character flags or items that are new drop. So, I don't want people to just be able to skip the epic. I want them to have to go through the process. The faction cheese shouldn't be the only way, in my opinion. So.
All right. Yep. Vapor Jesus asking, how are we gonna keep PF Zergs? What's PF? PF?
Project Faceless.
Project Faces. Oh, here we go. Guild politics here. PF Zergs from just having free reign on Kunark Dragons. Zergs ruined the skill of organizing with what you have access to. If you don't want to take this, feel free. Or
do you want to? Well, here's the thing. Open world is all rules suspended when we actually launch this officially. This sounds like someone that hasn't played the game lately, or hasn't actually done open world already. Right now, they're all getting the spawns because no one's contesting them. We show the quake timers. The only time a raid creature spawns is during an earthquake. So if during an earthquake a raid creature spawns, then rules are suspended. I believe it's the one about behaving well and kill stealing. You could train people. Everything's on board for that one. Like we suspend, I think it was rule 9 and all of the raid rules basically. So those are free game in those open world zones, and in 3 hours those creatures despawn anyway, and the rules are enabled again. Effectively, this doesn't stop people from like breaking rule 5 or something, but allows people to rule 9 and 10 basically are please respect raid and camp rules. Ninja looting will be allowed. Kill stealing will be allowed. Player agreements for ninja looting not really enforced at all. Intentional griefing and training allowed during those raids, and those raid zones specifically. Outside of raid zones, still please adhere to the rules, but as there's no active quake going on, it will say in the /MOTD when you log in, as well as everyone should pretty much tell you if you're in a guild that actually is relevant. Make sure that you avoid those zones if you are, like a hardcore solo or self-found player. If you don't want to lose progress or anything, just avoid those. We did this on purpose because we wanted people wanted competition. So we have the instances on top of that. The rules are suspended on purpose on the open world one. It's a fun, chaotic activity for this one to engage in it. You want to beat the Zerg? Destroy the Zerg.
Destroy the Zerg. It's the only way. It's the only way. All right. Well, thanks for fielding that question. I didn't know what PF stood for, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Quake timers are public on Project Quarm, just to be clear. Any officer can share them, and then there's probably websites that can tell you when the next one's going to be, so on and so forth. Officers and leaders can see them basically through an in-game command.
All right.
If they want to make a free for all, yeah, go kill it.
Planet Fitness, that's right. Hey, P99's very own Blistig with a question. Hey, a long-time listener, first-time caller. What's your current favorite account password? Ooh, who wants to go first? 1, 2, 3, not it.
Hunter 2.
Oh man, mine's
Hunter 2.
Hunter 2.
I Hunter 2'd all over the place. I Hunter 2'd my Hunter 2 constantly. And if you know where this is referenced from, it's time for your prostate exam. I'm sorry, you're that old.
Someone knows about some Hunter 2. All right, awesome.
Yeah, I see it too. Actually, just the stars.
Let's see. Key rings for Kunark. We got that. Girls like swarms of lizards. Ailia, do you mind expanding on this, please? Or maybe not.
Does it really need to be expanded upon?
No, I think that's pretty clear.
Is this
actually,
a
I
question?
think yeah, it's not even a question. It's just it's
I may
open.
have used a comma and broke it.
Girls do like
commas.
I mean, please don't use commas because I'm just if you use commas, then you're gonna have to be a chameleon and half the message will come and go. Okay? And
I see.
would be easy without.
Oh, sorry.
We're doing the Iksars are technically karma chameleon, right?
See, there you go. Look at there. Okay, I fixed it. Girls like swarms of lizards, right? So there's some context that we probably had about an hour and a half ago.
That's fine. The context is out to lunch.
Yeah,
we're fine.
That's right. Great question there, Ailia. Could we ever have a playable froglock race added with an exclamation point and a question mark?
I think we should.
Yeah,
we should if we can pull it off someday. Post. Maybe the classic model. I'd love the classic model.
Yeah.
We can also do the LOY one because it's technically an S3D model as well as the Drogmars. But I don't know where we'd put them. I don't want the events. I don't want to kick the trolls out. That's kind of lame, right? We don't want to discover gun back.
Yeah, well,
but there had to be like an enlightening event where Nathaniel Mark grants them intelligence.
That's
right?
True. Right. That would.
Maybe we should just keep them dumb. Maybe we should add nulls as a playable race first before doing that, though. If we're going that far.
I mean, so like Zayd and I were talking about how like it was there is a connection for Froglocks getting to Kunark by way of the trolls or something. And so maybe their story starts in Kunark with that village of Krupp or whatever. And we'll just make our own story, but
we'll make our own story.
Yeah, let's make our own
Froglocks of Krupp.
Yeah,
and Blackjack and the other one. So.
Don't let me add more work to your plate, but that would be awesome. So
that's pretty much what the extra questions are doing at this point. So
yeah, for sure. Okay, so open world non-instanced boss spawns in Kunark. Yep, yeah, there will be open world non-instanced boss spawns in Kunark. Let's see. I can't see the rest of this question, but I think it's safe. But it's not complete. Taylor of Europa for the Bertoxus Gazette, with Necros being the strongest class with some of the weakest gear. Yeah, it cuts off. I'm sorry. My queuing system is very simple, so it cuts things off. So I apologize. Apologize for that, Japanimaniac.
I don't know what this is about.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Well, Necros be played. I don't know. Well, I don't know what the question was now. The question is out to lunch. Rip question.
Everything's going
RIP question. If you want to ask it in chat and just re-mention it, sure. But this is a lot of text, so.
Yeah.
Necro gear making it better. No, we're not touching Necro gear. Maybe the whole whiz to end thing, but no, we're not touching it. And the skull cap, the 8th skull cap will obviously be in, just not in its overpowered Gates of Discord or Homid form. The cast time of the epic, we're not touching epics, so.
No.
If they suck, that they suck, but oh well.
Is what it is. Yeah.
Sometimes it is what it is.
Some people really hate that saying, and I probably should stop saying it out of sensitivity.
I mean, that saying just is what it is at this point. So.
Yeah, we're at that point. What's your favorite squirrel fact, Ailia? What you got? Favorite squirrel fact?
That's a good one. You honestly, I think my favorite squirrel fact is that the leader of that particular guild asked me to ban them and was surprised that I did.
That's an amazing squirrel fact, actually.
Did you know that squirrels ask to be banned and then actually get banned on Project Quarm, no less? That is what squirrels do. Actually.
Oh my. Yeah, I would never ask Ailia to ban me or to kill me for that matter.
Look, Ailia accidentally killed you at this point. Imagine if you asked intentionally.
Right?
Larry, I'm going to send you a picture for context.
Oh.
Is it the? Is it the hot bar picture?
Oh, that one
think
is
it
it?
is.
Oh, this one. Okay, I see. This is the band. Oh my.
Oh wait, is that? I don't think we can put that on stream.
No. Yeah, I'm just looking at it here.
So there's
that
an
happened.
in-game discussion from Squirrels that said, ban me so hard. You do what, and Ailia replies, you do what realize what happened to the last person who asked me to do like something like that, right? And then Squirrel says, he got banned hard? And then Ailia says, ban Squirrels using the command, asked to be banned for the reason. And then he disappears. And that was the end of it. It was the server first guild leader we had to ban on
That
the
had
server.
to get bad.
Believe it or not.
Glorious.
So
Absolutely glorious. All right, moving on here. Just to understand the pace of how we're moving here, we have probably about 10 questions, and I don't think all of these are very serious questions, so probably about 5 more or so.
okay.
I do want to recap this one for those of us who are planning on playing self-found, hardcore, or solo. But there will be a Priest of Discord added somewhere in Cabalus or in the general area of Cabalus. So we will, those of us who are interested, aka you Legacy of Ick folk out there, be ready. We'll be swarming that Priest of Discord as soon as we find him and get our flags in order.
Yes, the Priest of Discord's going to be an Iksar. I'm going to be placing it in the Field of Bone, actually, is that it's going to be.
Like,
Or maybe I should put it like right inside of Cabalus near the Field of Bone exit. I think that's where it is going to be the Iksar. You know what?
I'm
going to go to
wait,
Cabalus.
wait. Hold on. Wait. Let's talk this through a little bit. Hold on. Where's it going to be? Hold on.
Yeah. Cabalus B, I believe.
Cabalus B.
Or whatever.
Oh, near the
was,
Field
East
Zone
West
exit. Okay,
Cabalus.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay,
West
so still in Cabalus. I see. I got you. I thought you were putting him like near.
West, I think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Noted.
It's going to be right next to the exit. He's not going to be at the exit. But he's going to look cool either way. I think that's going to be more important, right?
I cannot wait. All right. Can we put up Legacy of Vic posters in Cabalus? I mean, we already got Legacy of Vic made. Let's not ask for too much.
I was actually going to name him Priest of Vic. I was going to name him Priest of Vic.
Okay, cool. Let's keep it going. Let's keep the suggestions coming in. Let's see what else we can That's incredible. Fantastic. All right. I think I was about to talk about an epics question about loot rights and stuff. I don't know if we talked about this. Let's just see. With epics and raids, does that mean you need loot rights before you turn in an item?
With epics and raids, you mean? You need to loot rights before you turn in an item. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't understand the question. With
there.
epics and raids, I mean you do not have to have loot rights. What happens is if you have the item and there's a reward for killing the creature that spawns from it, you will have to take that item that spawns from the mob's corpse when it dies. No one else can take that item even if the corpse unlocks. That's how it works.
Yep.
That's how it's set up.
Okay. Oh dear. Will there be a level up character put in as an NPC? Look, we have Priest of Ick potentially, or some sort of. I think that's that's more
actually yes. If you were to ever pass away, hands down, you would be
okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So yeah.
Shoot.
Just don't die.
I thought
you just have to die. That's it. That's it.
No. I'll start to consider that actually. That's actually.
No, let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not do that. Okay. So another loot rights. I think we're good there. Warrior aggro. A couple of warrior aggro questions, but we're good there. Okay. Dead man floating. Incomplete question. There's one about kill credit for epics going to work, and I think you've captured that a few times as far as how that's gonna work. So, shoot, we might be done with these. There's a question.
You might be done.
Yeah, statement about me dressing up as Furiona V again. That's TBD. Maybe tomorrow.
I mean, I'll dress up as Furiona V if I have a cosplay for. I would in the
I
heart.
mean, shoot, I'll tell you what. I put one together. I should post pictures on my
Show me
socials.
how to.
Yeah,
Yeah, you should. I mean that's marketing.
it is. All right, got it. Will Wormslayer be non-lore and able to be used in primary?
No, we're not changing anything with the weapon. Whatever it is on TAC B is good. What it's going to be here. Whatever's in PQDI, we're not touching Wormslayer. So
Okay.
whatever it is on TAC Ps or PQDI, it's going to be the same there. We haven't touched it. We don't plan on touching it.
Got it. Solus, I see your question about skipping you. I want to. Oh, you know what it is? I'll tell you what. So you used a comma. If this was your question, if your question started with "Hey," the anti-comma question queuing bot wasn't happy with that. So, I apologize. But I will be sending all the questions, regardless of what they're about and what they look like, over to secrets. And I'm not signing secrets up to answer all of those, but I will make note of the ones that I skipped. And
might be something to do during the downtime tomorrow if I really want to answer any of them.
Sure. Yeah, that's at your own discretion.
Larry, I would
Yes.
like to show you something
Please
ahead
do.
of tomorrow.
Yes.
Please show
okay.
this on stream.
Oh my. All right, hold on.
Is this after your own heart? Or?
Oh my goodness, look at this, y'all. Wait, okay, you can't see it because it's my first time streaming. Look at this. Look at this priest to Discord already primed, queued up, looking good for the glory of Ick. Praise be to the Emperor.
My God. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh my.
It's fantastic.
I just, this is a dream come true.
Look at that. So good.
And just threw that together like nothing. I mean, that's just...
No, I had to do it at some point, right?
Yeah,
so I was like, I'm in game. I've been, kind of doing things as we do this at AM. And no, I haven't been always. I'm joking. I just started doing it.
Yeah.
I just figured since we're,
Hey, nothing wrong.
It's good. It's good. The only thing I did is copy the existing priest to Discord, change the race, and then put it in place.
That's it.
Everything else is the same.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Discord, not Discord. Jesus.
Let's see.
Priest of Iksars.
Priest of Ikscord. How do you even say Ikscord? Iskord.
Iskord. It's cool. We don't have to, Anyway, is that all the questions for today?
Yeah. Here, tell you what. That's all the questions. I know they're if you don't mind. I know Solus's question got skipped earlier. So can we add?
Let's do that real
if
quick.
it's okay to capture that one. Can we add Kurscale as tailorable leather for handmade backpacks and the like? Oh,
that'd be a cool idea.
Yeah, that would be a cool idea.
Put it on suggestions and make sure I get tagged. Make Blood Like Mercury tag me in that one. Someone just needs to PM them and have them tag me in because I'm gonna forget this. Anything during the AMA. This is gonna be one of those things where I'm just gonna go back and I'm gonna be like I've done this before. I've met people and it's like, hey, look at this 5-hour video of me talking about a game I'm passionate about, and it's like, that's cool. I'm not gonna watch it, but that's cool that you're on the internet talking to some cool people. So it's like, yeah, don't tag me directly. Tag our community manager; they can handle it.